What's going on, everyone? Welcome in. Hopefully everyone is doing well. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. I know a lot of times we do Whatnot on Wednesday and all those good things, but we have a special live stream for you. We are kicking off the week. We're kicking off the week definitely with some fun of almost over a week long of cool charity stuff, all kinds of awesomeness. But we also have a special guest with us tonight from Gemini Collectibles. But I just want to say hi to a lot of people that already are popping in. I saw a channel member there. We have Cross-Save, what's going on, celebrating 2 months. Thanks, Cross-Save, for celebrating 2 months. And you are definitely a part of our chat and all those good things to share stuff. I see a couple other people in here. Monster Pete, what's going on? I see, who else? Jason, what's up, Jason? Hopefully you are doing well, too. See a couple people mostly coming over from YouTube. We are cross streaming in a couple different places, so on X and on Facebook as well too. So anyone joining us on those, welcome in. So like I said, we have a lot of fun tonight, but one of the things I wanted to announce for all you early birds that are already here, if you haven't hit that like button, first off, give some thank yous to Gemini Collectibles in that chat, because if you watch the video the other day, we unboxed a huge unboxing from them, and they sent over so many great things and all kinds of stuff to help support our veterans and help support what we're doing in our efforts for the Murdoch Veterans Endowment Fund. And great thing about endowment funds is they last forever. Pretty much what it does is give off the interest, and we can keep building it and building it, add more money that it gives off every year and those kind of things. So that is our plan with this one. We did complete 2 other endowments, thanks to a lot of you. We completed one for teachers in honor of my mom, who is retiring as a teacher after this year, finally, after 28 years. And then also in memory of my dad, who passed away, we started our very first one, and that endowment has went over $30,000 now. So all because of the great stuff that you guys are doing. So I appreciate everything. But if you would like to give, well, we are going to do something special throughout the night. I'll talk about that towards the end, but I'll put it up on here on the screen as well too. So if you want to give, you can go ahead and scan the QR code or go over to Instagram and link, or there should be a link also in here to go ahead and go over and donate directly to the fund through the foundation. Every $5 will get you an entry in for a creature soda. So we're going to do a creature soda case break. I already opened one of those sodas. You saw that on the video. We're going to open the rest and all those good things. So hopefully you guys can check that out, make a donation over there. Because if we have the most individual donations from individuals, we will also receive an extra $1,000 towards our fund through a match they have. So, and we're already getting matched our $5,000. So some awesome stuff. But appreciate everyone that is checking out this, scanning maybe in the code and joining us. So we do have a special guest behind the scenes. So from Gemini Collectibles, we have Mason with us. I'm going to bring him in here and hopefully we can ask him some good questions, see what's going on. So chat, feel free to type in any questions you have about what's going on with Gemini, or just, you know, maybe what you're wondering about Mason as well too. So welcome in, Mason. Welcome in for joining us.
How's it going?
So I would like to personally give you a big shout out. You reached out to me pretty quick when I kind of like was reaching out to a variety of different companies saying, hey, we need some stuff. We need some stuff for one out auction. And I will say the last time I did a charity auction, I actually donated 90% of the stuff that we did for the charity auction because I was like, it's something I care about and want to make happen. But you know, I like to always in the fall, especially when we do rally and raise, reach out to companies and people we've worked with in the past and people we've, you know, dealt with, especially and been supporters of or open stuff on the channel from and those kind of things, and say, hey, we would love your help. Can you help us by sending something over? A lot of great people in like this chat have sent some stuff over as well too. But Mason, why did you want to send stuff over when you heard the call from me?
I mean, I just the past year I've gotten really into charity. We actually, so one of my professors from college, we work with a charity called For the Greater Good, and we go to Honduras. I've been to Honduras twice this year, and I actually have pictures with Gemini exclusive Funko Pops with Honduran kids. I took them down there and gave them out. So like we'll go down there. The past time we were down there, we built some schools, or built some kitchens for the schools and stuff like that. So I just got really involved with charity, and so as soon as you reached out, I was like, I have to send something, especially for, you know, for a veterans fund and stuff like that. I'm happy to help in any way I can. So plus you were super supportive from the start, so I was like, I'll send as much as I can.
And you definitely sent a lot. Like I was like amazed. You're like, oh, I'm gonna send a pallet of stuff, and you're like, expect like 8 boxes to be delivered to your house on this day.
Yeah.
And, oh wait, I'm gonna send a few more. Hold on, a couple more are coming. So I really appreciate it. I know my wife Shannon does too. She's a Marine veteran herself, so you know, it's very close to our heart. My grandfather was a World War II Marine veteran as well too. So you know, a lot of people in our family have served. A lot of people that we deal with in the pop community have served as well too. So the Funko community has a lot of veterans in it. A lot of people also use collecting as a way to kind of cope with a lot of things I know in life as well too. But how about you? What do you collect? What are you interested in and excited about?
So honestly, really Funko. I don't collect Funko too much anymore. I used to have like a massive collection of a few hundred, and I've kind of downsized from my personal stuff, especially with like buying collections and stuff. Before I even bought Gemini, I pretty much would get everything I wanted, and then instead of just having it sit on the shelf, I would just, you know, sell it and make some money and stuff like that. So, but yeah, really just Funko. I mean, you could probably see in the back of I have like a bear brick back there, and then like some, you know, Funko prototypes and some Funko Freddies and stuff from Gemini on there. So, you know, just kind of anything that piques my interest, but really, you know, I don't really collect too much anymore because my wife was like, the house is just getting a little too cluttered. So
yeah. Yeah, it's hard being a seller and then a collector at the same time, right? Like, because you're like, I got all this great stuff in, but I can't keep it. I want to keep my business going and going on. But is there a special like fandom that is your like, that's my niche, that's what I love, that's what I'm not going to give up, like this certain thing?
Not anymore. So my favorite fandom was Rick and Morty. I kind of got into collecting like right when all those were actually coming out, like in the stores and stuff like that. So I know they haven't made those in a very long time, which is sad. But yeah, now I just kind of got into like just collecting. Like I said, I got those Gemini Freddies back there with like the Gemini shirt on. So like just kind of anything that kind of like has to do with Gemini. So I've been buying up like as many Gemini exclusives as I can, because when I actually got the company Gemini, I didn't unfortunately get like all the crazy stuff that Steve, the old owner, had in his personal collection. So that's not to say I won't get it. But right now he's like, I need to keep that. So
yeah,
I have but
I'm sure he had some stuff that was pretty like amazing, because they're like they were before Funko Pops with it, Funko, right? Like Gemini. How long ago has Gemini been with like associated with Funko?
I mean, I think since like 2002 or something like that, it's been in
Okay.
business. I know it's been over 20 years.
Okay.
So like we got probably 4,000 to 5,000 wacky wobblers from the acquisition. And those are, I mean, he's had those for decades now.
Yeah.
So just it's like crazy stuff like that. That's before the Funko time. We had like Funko Fource Aquamans, stuff like that. So I'm trying to think of anything else, but that's the stuff we have. Like, just had crazy quantities of still after all these years.
Do you still have the Funko Force Burger King King? Did he give you any of those? I actually bought a King and a Chase King from Gemini in the past, like about 2 or 3 years ago. They're on the site, and I was like, I have to get this. Like, there is no Burger King like icon in ad icon in Funko. Like, they never made it. And I was like, this is cool, and there's a chase to it. Like, that's really interesting. I love like weird stuff like that. Like, I'll get like weird things from Gemini every once in a while. I would like go on there and be like, what? Oh, this looks really cool. This is really old.
There was some of the Outback like kangaroos, the wacky wobblers of that we got. Like a master case of those.
That sounds
some weird funky stuff.
Yeah, like another example from Gemini. So Gemini was great, and this is, I think, how you probably got associated with Gemini, because you told me a little bit about that. But they were really good about bulk selling as well to other retailers. So is that how you kind of got like known, the owner, the former owner, and like, got associated with them?
Yeah, so I was like Steve's biggest like wholesale customer. I started selling on Amazon when I was in college, just like to make some extra money, and then found Funko Pops and just started kind of selling on there just to make some extra income, and then slowly just kind of grew and had some wholesale accounts open with some other of the distributors. But Steve, we had a good relationship, and so like he was kind of planning this for a while. So beginning of last summer, he reached out to me and he's like, hey, he had a second warehouse. He's like, hey, I'm getting rid of this other warehouse. Like, do you want to buy a bunch of stuff? So he basically just gave me some good deals, and I helped him out. He helped me out. And that's kind of how our relationship always works. So when he said he was going to close down Gemini, I reached out to him and I was like, hey, like what's going on? Like, everything okay? He's like, yeah, it's just time for us. Like, I just need to retire. And then he's like, do you want to buy the company? And that's the rest is kind of history. I went out and checked it out. He's in Pennsylvania. He was in Pennsylvania. I'm in Cleveland, Ohio. So it's like a 6-hour drive, nothing too far. And I've probably done 20 trips back and forth just to go, see him here and there and do a bunch of stuff with him over the last couple of months. But yeah, it's been a ride.
Oh, very cool. So, it's really cool that it'd be able to kind of like carry on the name of Gemini. I think that's one thing. Like, you're associated with Funko for so long, and I'm sure that helps with your connection with the Funko corporate side, and those kind of things, you're able to like bring that in. One thing I will tell you, like, one thing I do remember buying from them when they would sell, they would have the bulk sales where they have a whole case of Funko Pops.
Yeah.
And I remember buying the Family Guy set, all the Family Guys in cases. And they were like, I think $40 or $50 for a whole case. And I was like, oh, this is a steal. I got them now. What are they all like $50, $60 each individually? So, those kind of things people never know. Like, people say, oh, stuff's on clearance or stuff is going away, or, these kind of things, but you really never know with collectibles what becomes of value or what is like people are after. I would say too, a lot of people, like, I know in the unboxing video that we did with all the stuff you sent over, like, I had a lot of people message like, oh, that's really cool, I want to go after that. Or, because some of it you also just don't see. Like, I'm sure as you're digging through the warehouse of stuff, you're like, I have never seen this before.
Yeah. And like when it got to the end too, like the last shipment I got was just a few pallets. He basically just loaded everything up, and it wasn't even like inventoried. It was just like, here's the rest of what I had. So it was kind of fun to go through and like pull some stuff out. And obviously there wasn't anything like super crazy in there. I did get the one crazy thing I got from him was I think it was a 14-inch, but the Dino the dinosaur, like the giant wacky wobblers.
Oh, yeah.
So that was super cool. That'll go in my personal collection because that's just like a cool piece to have. But
yeah,
like very unique. Like the Hikaris that I sent you a couple mask cases of those. Like, we have so many of those, but Gemini, I think, was like the only place to really have those. I think some of them are Gemini exclusives, but yeah, it's cool
It's
stuff.
insane. Like the Hikari, I don't know why. I think I know why it didn't take off. It's really actually the retail cost of those were pretty high back then.
Yeah.
I mean, back then they were $65, I think, a lot of them, and that because I remember my first Hikari that I ever got was actually through Marvel Collector Core boxes. So
Yeah.
I got that, and the first anniversary. This was when they came actually from Funko. The first anniversary one was a Captain America Hikari. And that was one of the first like Hikari I ever seen. And it was funny. About 5 years ago, I started Whatnot when they started doing live auctions. I was like one of the first people on there. Like the first week it went live and that. And what we did is we checked it, but I was like, a lot of people had never seen Hikari, so a lot of the stuff we would be selling because people would be really interested in them. They never seen them, and they're so detailed and they're really nicely done. Like people understand like how much work they went in, and then how limited they are. Like a lot of them are like 500 pieces or maybe 1,000 at the most, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, I think, what makes those cool too is like I actually had a lot of those when I had bought from Gemini, you know, in like 2020 from a retail standpoint. In my personal collections, where I ended up kind of selling a lot of that stuff off because like I had like the Iron Man one and stuff like that, and I just thought it was cool because you can get a limited edition 500 piece item that was, you know, $25.
Yeah,
It's just kind of the value for the limited edition part of it is great.
it's crazy, and it's really neat to like see that they're individually numbered as well too. I don't think a lot of people get that little tag or card in there. Each of them have an individual number, and some of them will say AP on them too. So I don't know if you came across any of those when you're unboxing anything, but like sometimes you just don't want to open it. But like the coffin one was pretty easy to open, the sheriff ghost, which is a really cool looking figure. That was like a really awesome looking figure, very Asia inspired, kind of like some of the Funko Asia stuff that does come out every once in a while. The Pop Asia stuff, but it like on the card there, it was really easy to get out. But you know, sometimes you never know if you have a artist proof or not mixed in there as well. So
yeah, it's sweet. I love that line. I just, like I said, like you said, it just didn't take off because of the price. But I think if they would have launched it like something like around today when people were a little more comfortable paying higher prices, it would have worked. But at that point when they actually launched them, Funko was still kind of a newer thing.
Yeah, and I don't think like that point too. That would have been after Funko Pops have released as well too. Yeah. So a lot of that is that weird like juggle of cost and size and anything like that. So you kind of have that like weird kind of look at, you know, do I have room like 10 inches and stuff like that? There's some really cool ones, but like how much room do you have? Or pop rides? And, you know, those are the hard things sometimes to sell, but they're also sometimes the really hard things to find, especially in good condition, the older they get as well.
Yeah, especially in good condition because shipping can just absolutely wreck those. They're just not sturdy at all compared to a regular pop. And like protectors too for them are so expensive because they're so unique shaped, whereas a pop protector can get for pretty cheap.
Yeah. And you know, a lot of people forget like pop protectors really didn't exist till I would say probably like 6-7 years ago. I feel like pop protectors didn't exist. But we were finding a 10-year-old pop and it's in great condition. Either it was put away in a box or someone just took care of it in a really you know, that well over time and those kind of things. It's really neat to kind of dive into and look at that. So so what are your plans with Gemini? Like what are you and your brother, right? Are you working together with your brother, correct?
Yeah, then we had a couple other people underneath us, but we're the two brains of the operation. So we kind of, as of right now, we want to become like the #1 place for Funko again, because that's what Gemini was, and I love Funko as a brand, and that's why, you know, on the website there really isn't anything besides Funko, besides a couple other little random lines here and there. We're still trying to focus on Funko because I think a lot of the big retailers like, you know, Toy Temple, Chalice, and all them they're going to Thrill-Joy, which obviously like we would potentially love to get in contact with them and stuff like that. But I feel like it's kind of taking away from the Funko perspective of their company. You know what I mean? Not entirely, but I don't think they are loyal to the Funko fan base like Gemini always has been. Gemini's like really has always been Funko. So we really just want to kind of dive into the Funko and not just be a wholesale standpoint. Gemini was always a wholesale standpoint. Steve never like entertained buying collections because he just didn't have the time to. But we want to get into like where we have as much of Funko as we can. So we want to have like the Grail pieces, the regular wholesale pieces, the cheaper pieces, everything like that. Just so if someone comes to our website, there's always something there. And it's been a challenge with getting the website up because I know it's not like entirely 100% easy to use right now, just because I basically got thrown truckloads of stuff and was like, we have to get the website up and start selling. Like my warehouse was overflowing. So we just kind of threw together a website, and the plan is over the next couple months kind of refine that website, make it better and stuff. And yeah, for now, just focusing on Funko, especially while we just kind of get our feet on the ground with getting everything inventoried and on the website and stuff like that. I mean, I was telling you before we went live, we announced we were like launching that we were going to buy collections, and we got completely inundated. Like we still have probably 20,000 pops that I bought from collections just sitting in the warehouse we have to go through. So like we don't even, I mean, we know what's in them kind of because we got, we bought them, we knew what we were paying for, but like we just bought so many now we don't even really know exactly what's in and what we've gone through and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, right now focus on Funko, and I mean we're definitely open to other brands. Funko, I can talk more about it too if people have questions from like a corporate standpoint, but Funko sometimes can be a little bit hard to deal with. So, we have a lot of ideas that we want to do for certain licenses and stuff like that, but it's just sometimes kind of hard because they're so corporate. So it's kind of that balancing act right now, kind of figuring out, where we're going to go with other brands or if we're going to really stick with Funko. But yeah, for now, just Funko.
Yeah. I think, it's hard to juggle a bunch of different brands, and, Thrilljoy is a newer company out there. I think really the hype, the big hype, I open it, I enjoy it. I think they have some, I love the thrill of the chase. Like I always love, we are big Funko soda people. So we have tons of Funko soda. We are always doing, we did soda Saturday for like 2 years in a row. So we opened sodas on every Saturday video for like 2 years in a row. So we're definitely soda people. And that's what I think Thrilljoy brings, is that hunt for the chase, especially with the super chases. So, but I think also it thrives on like live. I think it does really well on like a whatnot kind of atmosphere where you can see if you win or not, beforehand, you kind of see, and you have to have those trusted companies where like a Toy Temple and a Chalice and things like that, they're not trying to like weigh them and figure out what one's the you have to be careful on those sellers who don't know what's going on in that. So
and I think what I really like about Thrilljoy is like I've just bought from some of them from just a personal standpoint, and what I really like about them too is that you generally don't know what you're going to get until you actually open the package. Like with Funko, people can pull chases off the shelves in stores and stuff like that, but Thrilljoy, you physically have to open the package and see. So that definitely helps from like a collector standpoint too. And I like the limited availability that there's only 5,000, there's only 10,000 of these made. And I think they committed to not making more than 10,000, which is super cool.
I mean, really, he took the idea of like the Funko Pop piece and then the soda piece and put it together. And he was over both of those, so you can't say like he stole it from him, because he was the owner of the company, CEO of the company at that time, and I know he had a big part in the soda game and bringing those about. So Cross-Saved here, Brian is a great supporter here. He has a question about, with so many companies not doing mystery boxes anymore, but a few good ones, would you guys ever think about doing mystery boxes?
Yeah, we've actually thought about it, especially because I think we can offer some good value with them. I think the hard part is like we've also seen those companies that will do mystery boxes and they're like not good mystery boxes and people get upset. So we're trying to figure out the best way to possibly eventually do those. So if you guys have any, like if the chat has any ideas or anything like that,
I'll give you a ton of. I'll give you pointers for days. I mean, we've been doing mystery boxes for 5 years. I mean, we open at least a mystery box a week if you think about it. So for 5 years plus a mystery box, if not more, multiple mystery boxes a week. We've seen them all from bad to good. And I think there's a little bit of everything in between though too. I think you have a good opportunity, especially if you're buying collections. If you want to look at companies that are doing it well, a great example would be Boomloot. Boomloot does a really good mystery box and they're consistent every week. On a Monday night, they launch a mystery box, and they have different levels though. They'll have ones that are like $65. They'll have ones that are $750, you know. So they'll switch them up depending on the collector and what they're going after. But like that's a great example of a company like that buys collections, and a lot of times they buy collections that are only they pay pretty well for collections, but they say we only want $25 and up pops. So we don't want anything, you know, lower than that for Funko Pops. We want some stuff, but also I think there's a little bit of everything for different people, though. Some people just want a one pop, a luck chance of getting something really big, but you get something else for a low cost. So other people want a higher end, but a better, you know, a better assortment. I will say assortment of older collections and newer stuff mixed is probably the best bet for a mystery box. A lot of people will tell you. I think that's one of the great things that you have there too as well. So if you do want to talk mystery boxes, I'm always willing to do. I've talked to people about it before. We run our own mystery box. Sometimes, you know, we try to do those every once in a while on that. It's not easy sometimes too. So it's also getting into that game of it. You got to build people's trust, but also timing can mean everything. I've had times where like, oh, you sell out in like a day. Other times you're like, I'm sitting on these for a week because it's weird timing of, you know, when people are buying and what's going on. But I think from what I've seen is consistency has been the best. Smyworld used to do some great mystery boxes for a long time. Ralphie's as well. Ralphie's went more to Whatnot, like live sales, I know, and Smyworld has done more like protos and other things. They'll do mystery boxes, but not the same consistency. So you see a variety of stuff. I don't know if you know Sully here, so former. He worked for Funko for a while too as well, but he's a live streamer on Twitch and YouTube, but Twitch mainly. You'll see him. He talks a lot about Funko NFTs and everything like that. But I think something I talked to you about actually a little bit. Will you guys be doing any live auctions on eBay or whatnot?
So probably not eBay, but Whatnot, it's another thing we're considering. I think, like I said, I think the hard part right now is like we just have so much stuff we're still trying to go through. So we've just been kind of backlogged just by getting the company. But yeah, definitely we're considering Whatnot. I've looked into the app a little bit, but it's just another thing where we're trying to actually get the Gemini website up and going and kind of get that a little more consistent before we kind of dive into these other avenues. So I think mystery boxes could definitely help with the Gemini website too. So that's definitely a great idea. And like to your point with the mystery boxes from like a trust standpoint, like I think people are still hesitant with Gemini right now just because like the old owner was announcing they were closing and all of a sudden it was back up. So it's like, it's kind of weird. So I've seen comments about people saying, you know, they don't really trust that it's actually a new owner, which that's why I'm glad I'm kind of doing this to kind of put out there that it is a new owner. So, you know, it wasn't just a marketing gimmick. It was truly the company was going to go out of business and I just kind of was able to step in and get it. But yeah, I think I see a lot of potential with Whatnot, especially with a lot of these, what a lot of these big companies are doing, especially for, you know, giving people some better deals and stuff like that on there. And that's what like Gemini's always been the deal place. So that's why we're trying to kind of figure out a way to make it so that people can get a good bang for their buck for the Funkos. And we're always going to be kind of that lowest price out there.
Yeah. I think, you know, that's what, you know, one great thing is having a variety of things on your website. I will say one plus to live selling has always been a quicker move of things, you know, just like, you know, eBay can be a great place to sell. And I think you worked some with Amazon as well, too, like selling and things like that. It can be a great place, but it could sit on there for weeks, you know, and you're waiting for it to sell. Or a Whatnot, you could have like 100 things you want to sell. And if you want to put up everything at whatever you want to start it at and get through the 100 things, you can get through the 100 things in, you know, 3 hours or something like that. So, you know, that's like a difference of it. I think a lot of it too, the companies that have done well with it that are, you know, new, like I would say a lot of these companies waited a long time to come on to Whatnot, like things like Toy Temple and Chalice, and they're relatively like only a few years into Whatnot compared to it's been on for 5 years. So they were not the first to jump on it. But I think they realized that is the way things are moving too. I will say I do not like eBay Live. It's clunky. It's hard to use as a buyer. I can't imagine as a seller if it's clunky enough for a buyer. Whatnot was built from the ground up for sellers and buyers and really have made a ton of improvement. I know both the owners, Grant and Logan, like I said, I started like week 1 with them and I believed in it because I saw someone invited me to demo stream, kind of like they're trying an auction to make sure it worked and sell stuff on it. And they wanted some people on it. So I was like, oh, I want to go check it out. Send me an invite so I can get on it. Yeah. And they sent me the link to it. And I was like, this is going to change live selling. I knew it from the very beginning and I told people that. I'm like, I've seen people try to sell on Instagram. I've seen them sell on Facebook Lives. You try to all these platforms. I'm like, you have to deal with if people don't pay. If, timing's off. Like, great example, YouTube here. Like, I could be live selling right now, but it's 20-second delay, so people could be trying to chat saying they want to bid on this and that, and it really has changed the game of selling. I think that's one. But there's always a good website, a good consistency of stuff that promoting. I think also, like, if you have certain days that you drop stuff on, I think it helps a lot. Like, oh, we drop everything on Friday night or Saturday night or something like that. A new batch of like grails and like higher end stuff. Like, you're always like dropping new drops and you're consistent. I think that helps as well too. Because then people know, like, you could show, here's a preview of what we're dropping for Friday night. Here's like, 50 different grails that we're dropping. Get ready. If you want them, you got to get on the site and grab them quick.
Cool. Yeah, that's cool information. We've kind of looked into it, but just we have so much going on. So definitely start diving into learning more about it, because we really want to engage with the Funko community. That's kind of like the whole goal of buying Gemini, just kind of dive into there, because I know, like, I think as a whole, Funko is kind of, not, I wouldn't say dying, but it's slowed down a lot over the past like 2-3 years. But the hardcore collector community is still there, and it will still be there for a very long time. So
yeah, I think it goes ebbs and flows of different stuff. Like, everyone, every time, every year, and we say this a lot when we do our like PFO live streams every Thursday and stuff. We hear people are like, oh, the Barnes and Noble is going out of selling Funko Pops, and guess what? Well, they just drop a Harry Potter 950, 9,500 piece exclusive, and they still carry. They just don't carry as many. They might not carry, like, some of the retailers have switched, but I also think Funko has switched. They're starting to switch their market into two different markets. They have the collectible market, and they're going to have the retail, we want to be everywhere market. So they're going to have like stuff that's, I think, with the limited tier pricing, and we could talk a little bit about that, like your thoughts on that. But the limited tier pricing, and then the idea of these other things that were very, very specific to, like, now biddies and stuff. You're going to find them at every grocery store, every little, like, store around like Five Below. You're going to find them at like the checkout counter at Target. You're going to find them at Walmart. You're going to find them all over, because that's what they're made for. They're cheap, accessible, like toys, more toys so than collectibles. What are your thoughts on the new tier pricing that they're doing now for Funko, like that, the different levels and the pricing for it?
So I will actually say, I don't know how much I can talk about this, but Gemini will be getting one. It's just when. I've been talking with Funko internally about that. So it is kind of nice, like, seeing what's going on with the tier pricing and stuff like that, because we're getting some good ideas, like how we're going to handle it when we actually have one. But I will say, like, regardless of what you think of the companies, I know Chalice had a lot of hiccups with theirs, and I know Evan with the recent, or I think it's about to come out, but like there was the overseas with the Goku and all that, like all the issues around that. Regardless of what you think about those companies, like, I will say, like, they're definitely trying to do their best to get them into the hands of collectors. But when you have, so for example, like the Evan piece, that's 1,200. They're only going to get maybe 600, maybe 700. They probably get allocated a little bit more to the US. So when you have possibly 10,000 plus people, whether they're like resellers or bots or all that whatnot, like trying to buy them at the same time, like, most people are going to be disappointed, and then they're going to, start complaining. So, I think these companies are trying to handle it the best that they can, but I also think this is it's a good move for Funko from a standpoint of, like, actually making stuff more limited, because they really got away from that the past couple of years. Like, they were just overproducing and mass producing way, way too much. And that not only has, like, hurt, I think, their collector base, but it's also hurt their company financially too, because they've been having to throw away stuff. Again, I don't know how much internally I can talk about, but like there's just they have a lot of inventory that's just kind of been sitting there, and limited pieces are basically a guaranteed way to move. Even if you're at the 9,500 piece ones, they usually still sell out within a couple hours or so. So I will say, like, I do like where they're going with it, and I just hope they kind of double, triple down on it. Maybe not do, obviously don't fully focus on it, but if they can do more of these than just like one or two a month, like if they can start doing, 10 to 20 a month of different characters, I think that would like really get the collector's base back in, because then most people are going to at least probably get one a month, even if they're not getting all the ones that they like. So, but yeah, I like I said, it's tough for these companies, I think, to handle. Like I know GameStop is going to have a 9,500 piece one. It's in stores only.
And they're only doing it in store, it sounds like, too.
Yeah,
they're not going to do it online.
3,000 stores, and I'm assuming that they're probably they're going to be shipped in master cases. So I'm assuming probably only like 500 or so of the stores are going to actually get a master case of 36, if anything. So like, that's why it's tough to kind of to do these. So I think the Funko website is probably handling it the best from what I've seen, just from a standpoint of like, you basically just drop it at the same time, and it's kind of like what happens for the most part. But yeah, I would say give these companies some grace that are trying to figure it out, because I know, like, with what we're talking about too, like they might just have no direction. Funko might have just told them, like, just here it is, like, go figure out the best way to sell it.
So we'll say the one of the things that, like, I think everyone's trying stuff out, like a new way of doing it. I do like the idea that, like, a great example was Toy Temple did it at Arizona Comic-Con. I'd love to see it at more small cons that, like, you guys go out. Like, if you guys ever decide to go out to a con, that's a really cool situation where, it's different because, Funko used to have that all the time. Like that is back, like bringing back the roots. They used to have Comic-Con exclusives for like Dallas Comic-Con. There's a great Batman out there. There's all these like different things that are like all these con stickers that we saw in the past that had these limited pieces. So first off, like, I don't like how they're not like I guess everyone that is getting like Chalice, for example, is just putting on their own stickers, adding them to them, which I think is needed, because I think it's really cool. People like those. I do like the QR code like idea of like the guarantee of like what something is and verifying it a little bit. But I think everyone loves the look of a sticker, like one of my favorites is LA Comic-Con. They have a great sticker. But even I'm looking at my collection, I have a great Gemini exclusive. One of my favorite glow in the darks ever is the creature from the Black Lagoon.
The glow box and all that.
And so if you have boxes of that, keep some away if he gave you any of those.
I don't know if he gave me any of those or not. I might have some. I do have
that box glows, like that slime on it glows on the window, and the glow on it's awesome. And it has the big glow sticker as well as the Gemini sticker. So it's really cool to see some of the stuff like that. So Jason had a question will the new limited piece counts make it harder for you guys to get exclusives? Like, how does the exclusive work now? But I think it's changed more recently than it had if you looked at 4 years ago for exclusive.
Yeah, so I can kind of speak about like what Steve told me, and then kind of how it is now. So like I don't know how it was, before, but so I know before, I think you had to do like $1 million plus in purchasing from them a year to even be considered for an exclusive and stuff like that. They don't have that anymore. So now it's just kind of basically, if you can afford to buy the pieces, then you can get an exclusive. But you have to buy, as of right now, it's for a quote unquote repaint is what they call it. So whether you get like a flocked or a glow or something, which is the figure they already have, but just something else on the figure, a different color or something. That's a minimum of 10,000 pieces. So like you're looking at, if you're getting an exclusive, you're still spending a ton of money just to, betting on an exclusive working. If you want your own mold, that can go up to 25 to 30,000. And then if you want a chase within your exclusive, that can go up to 40,000 plus for a minimum. So I'm sure some of these other big retailers might be able to get, better deals and stuff like that as they work through, but those are just the numbers that I've been told internally.
Yeah. I mean, that kind of makes sense. Like a few years ago, I would say anyone that just wanted exclusive, it didn't matter if it was a repaint or something new. It was like almost like you had a 30,000 plus. Like it was like that plus you had to also have so many like you have to buy so much from them as well too.
Yeah.
So I'm curious about like how they're gonna pick and choose for like the tier pricing as they go through, like with their different partners. Are they gonna it sounds like they're rotating around pretty well. Like they're going around to like a lot of their different key partners, and probably it does matter with buying and selling from them too as well. Like if you're buying so much from them, they're more likely to support you.
Yeah, I don't know entirely if the buying actually really matters because like I said, we're gonna be getting one, and I'm pretty new to them. So obviously,
Yeah,
Gemini's been around for a while, but like me personally as a person, like I'm pretty new. But I do know they're trying to get a lot of these other smaller stores, you know, actually out there and promote them a little bit more because I think they do realize that secondhand market it also still drives their own sales. Like even though because they technically can't sell the pops once they get vaulted. So like sometimes they have to like literally get rid of pops just because if the license expires and they have stock in their warehouses, they legally can't sell it anymore.
yeah,
So like they kind of get put in sticky situations like that. But I also will say like we do have our own exclusive coming out that I confirmed with them, but that takes it's a very long process, so that won't
yeah,
be for like another year before that comes
yeah.
out too. And so that's kind of how I know the process of it. But like I said, I have a lot of ideas with exclusives that I want to do and that would be awesome. But at the same time, like you're betting big money that it's going to
It
work
is.
out. So like the one we got, I know it's going to sell very well just because of the license and what it is and stuff like that. But there's some other ones where if the minimum order quantity was 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 pieces, like I'd pull the trigger 100%. And I think they would do well for Gemini. But when you're looking at 10,000 to 25,000 pieces, it's just you can't take you're basically
That's
betting on
hard. Yeah,
telephone.
that's hard to do. I mean, I think it's with the limited pieces too. It's interesting because like some of the ones that just came out, great example I guess would be the Dragon Ball. That just came out. It's not just split here; it's split international. So
Yeah.
even the retailer's not even getting all of those. So we don't know if they got 2,000 or 3,000 of them, or only 1,000 of them, and they're split between international, how many, and different. Like Europe got several different places got it. It wasn't
Yeah.
just one place. And then Australia usually Pop Culture gets them, and they're like all kinds of like pieces like that. I that's one surprise I haven't. It hasn't happened in a while. Is Pop Culture used to have a ton of like their own, like the exclusives that were here were also exclusives for Pop Culture, but it doesn't seem like that much anymore. And I don't know if they're slowing down or changing, or just how it's changing with exclusives too, international especially.
Yeah, well, I know so with the exclusive we're getting, even though we're buying it's a MOQ of 10,000 for us, but that's not like the quantity totals. There's an X amount that they're also going to push toward the international markets that they essentially force some of those distributors to buy. So like Pop Culture, I know I'm pretty sure is owned by Icon Collectibles, which is like the Australia distributor. So maybe the distributor is getting them and they're just giving more out to, because I'm also assuming like Funko sales have probably slowed down in Australia as well as they kind of have here. So they used to maybe give all their exclusives to Pop Cultures. They were like the only one having them in the country, but maybe now they're spreading them out more just to get them, moving. So that could be a potential why. But I don't know exactly how like the licenses work from like I just do know that for the most part, if a license is in the US, it also has to be sold throughout other countries as well. And that's just kind of how Funko works at this time.
How much do you think you're going to be buying new, as in like new product from Funko, versus buying like collections and other things for Gemini? Like, what do you think is your percentage you're looking at and thinking about?
I mean, it'll probably be mostly collections just because right now, we are still kind of new and people are, I think, a little hesitant to purchase from Gemini. So like the retail sales on Gemini's website from like a quote unquote wholesale standpoint of like the newer stuff hasn't been that great just because like a lot of times too, Funko just increased the prices, the retail prices, but they also increased the wholesale prices from an internal standpoint. And it was a pretty substantial markup. And so like, they blame the tariffs on it, which like I don't think have technically been put into effect yet. I know they're doing a lot of stuff with Vietnam as well, which instead of just China. And so it's like it's this whole big thing. So it's like because of that price increase, it really cuts down on the margins on the wholesale stuff that we can buy. And if it's not moving as much, if we're only buying a master case or two of that stuff, but we can buy, people are coming with us to all these collections, and that's stuff's moving faster because it's one-off pieces that we can list and sell. It makes more sense to focus on that. But at the same time, we want to carry the wholesale stuff as well, because obviously that's the newer stuff coming out. That's what people want. But it's also hard when, people can go on Amazon and buy it for cheaper than we would have to sell it and get free shipping. And yeah, I know Amazon has free pops that well,
Or
but
Funko selling it directly, like Funko selling even exclusives like that are Hot Topic and that directly on their site. So I think that kind of hurts. Like, well, why do I want to buy it there unless I get a coupon or a deal? You can get it cheaper. Or a lot of people have talked about too the idea of like, oh, I'm just going to wait for a sale. Like they just had a big sale on their site. Like you could probably buy stuff on their site cheaper than you could actually buy it from Funko sometimes directly as a retailer too. So
especially when it's some of the stuff is 70% off, which I know it's a lot of their exclusive that ends up being 70% off. But so I the plan is to eventually stock as much as we can, but they also there's so many lines and so much coming out that if we wanted to even just get a master case of each thing, it's crazy how much they're producing and how much they're releasing. It's hard to keep up because it's like every day we'd be getting in new product. You know what I mean? So it's that balancing act of the collector's market versus the new stuff. And a lot of the new stuff too, just it's how you mentioned, kind of just mostly marketed for the mass market and stuff like that. It's not really meant for collectors. So, I want Gemini to kind of be that place for collectors where people know they can go and get, the grails and also the common stuff like that.
So I just wanted to give a shout out to a couple people that have donated. If you're interested in donating, only $5. $25 gets you a t-shirt. So if you want a Raise and Rally t-shirt, but $5 will get you actually get you on there. So let me show you. Let's see if we can look at here. There's a couple different donations. I see Pedro, thank you, Pedro. Pedro donated twice already tonight, and my mom actually donated. Laura, that's my mom. So thank you, Mom, for donating $5 more. I see Mason actually made a donation a little bit ago as well, too, a couple weeks ago when we first started talking about stuff. So I appreciate it, Mason. There's a lot of great people that have made donations here. I will say a big shout out to Whatnot. They actually donated $2,000 directly to it. They're not doing where they replace they used to do it where they'd cover fees and kind of figure that kind of thing out, but they're not doing that now. But I really appreciate Logan and Grant for sending over a donation right from Whatnot. So that's really cool. I will say too, one of our community supporters, Jeff, he actually just passed away last week. So Jeff actually made one of our first donations for $500 on the 4th. So I really appreciate Jeff, and we'll miss him in our community and everything like that. I know a lot of people in here knew Jeff, and he was a great supporter and always supported charity causes. But so many great people have made donations. I appreciate everyone. If you want to make a donation tonight, I said I will do it towards the end here as we go through these. Each $5 that you donate. So if you donate $25, you get 5 entries. Donate $5, you get 1 entry. Donate $50, you'll get 10 entries. I have 5 sealed sodas of the creature left. So I have 5 sealed sodas of the creature left. What I'll do is go ahead and we'll go ahead and use those to give away. So we'll use the rest because this one is a common. So I will say this one is actually a common here. So we'll go ahead and give the rest of the other 5 away. So someone's going to walk away with the chase. And I will say, if Funko comes back with sodas, you guys need to get an exclusive again. Because first off, a lot of people in this community love sodas. So, but this is just an awesome looking one. I wish they made it glow like the chase could have been the glow instead of the metallic, though. That's the only thing I wish they did because the glow would have been cool to match the other glow that you guys had as an exclusive a while back. But if you want a chance to win one of those, like I said, we'll at the end of the night, we'll do here. I'll give you about 30 minutes, everyone, if you want to make a donation there. We also have launched officially. I wanted to talk about this because you guys have helped donated to this as well, too. So I'm going to take this off. If you want, the link should also be in in the description below and everything. But one of the things that we launched tonight is actually our week-long charity site. So we'll talk about it on PFO tomorrow as well too. But I wanted to share this with everyone because this is one of the things as well that you guys got to help with, because I made an 18 pack of sodas to put on there. 18 separate sodas. My son was helping me make soda cases and mix things up and all kinds of stuff the other day. So we have a ton of great stuff on here. So I'll share this with you guys real quick. This is the site that is live now, and you can make bids, or there's a couple buy it now. I put buy now as a little higher, but you can make bids. I'm going to go ahead and make this big so everyone can see it here. But this is cool. We have Ultron. So if you want the Ultron Grail, I'll send you the NFT that you can redeem for Ultron there once it closes if you win that one. We'll close in a week from today. So we'll close at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern next week. So if you want to come back out, but if you want to go ahead and do some bids on here, I got a full set of April Fool's NFTs, all three. The great thing about that, when you win this auction, instead of paying me, you'll just go back to our charity site and make a donation, and I'll send it to you for free. So I'll send it out to you. I'll cover the shipping. If you're international, though, you do have to help with shipping there because it can get quite expensive with international. But if you're not, but the great thing about the NFTs, you don't have to worry about shipping because I can just send you the NFT. We do have a comedy autograph pack here. We have Gemini's soda 18 pack here. We got 18 sodas, no duplicates from them. Speaking of Thrill Joy, have the TMNT bundle here. We got a blue Michelangelo from the Beach Bash. We got the grayscale Leonardo, and we got a Leo and a Bebop as well, the heroes. We do have the physicals of the Beetlejuice, so you can get Barbara and Adam there. Also, Jason has donated a Supernatural pack, so a Sam Funko Shop exclusive, the nice pop. That's a like $70, $80 pop itself, and then a Dean pop. So Sam and Dean there, $7 a pop. Our friends over there donated some gift cards, so that's pretty awesome for Mr. Grail, and $7 a pop. We have a He-Man package here, Chase Soda, and the Loungefly Grayscale. So if you've been looking for that one. Funko 411, thank you for donating Bam Bam. So LE 8000 Funko Shop exclusive. It's like $110 pop here. So it's a really cool one. I donated a Clay Morrow signed by Ron Perlman. So Sons of Anarchy one from $7 a pop exclusive. I think I got that from someone else's charity auction. So I figured I would put it back up. Got a Coco Loungefly, which is really awesome. We have a whole case of Creature. So if you want a whole case of Creature as well from Gemini, they donated that over here. I have a My Hero package with a skate deck and an autograph Funko, and then also a set of all the legendaries from the Marvel's Avengers, West Coast Avengers NFTs as well too. So a lot of great stuff to check out. So hopefully you guys can go over there and check all these out. The links are in there. The links are in my Instagram bio, my X bio, all that kind of stuff. I'll take you to our online auction here, and you can make a bid, or if you decide to buy it now, I put some buy it now prices on some of these as well too. So can't wait to see some people start bidding these up and having some fun with it. We'll close it out next week on Wednesday. So I appreciate everyone that donated something towards this. Something new I tried. I actually saw Sully do this. So I saw him do it on their Nerd Unite, fundraisers, and I thought this would be a cool way. Besides the Whatnot, sometimes people don't like Whatnot or don't want to. They can't be there live at a certain time too. So this is one you don't have to be. You could make a bid that like is good, like just eBay to the end that you can try to bid up and people can bid up and all those kind of things. So a lot of great stuff here. So hopefully you find something you like. I try to get a good mixture of things on there. So I appreciate everyone that donated everything for that one. Did you see anything on there you would like? So what would you go after if you on there?
I like those two, the two autograph pack for the comedians. Yeah. I have a couple of fluffy autographs actually in the personal collection, but I don't have a Joe Coy yet. So
okay, Joe Coy's a cool one. I would love to see them together. They're doing a show together in LA, I think it is.
Yeah.
Like and that would be so good to see them both together. I mean, that's the ultimate comedy show right there. Both of those two doing a show together.
Oh, yeah.
Really, really good stuff. Let's see if we got any other donations here. Let me kind of refresh. So Jason donated $200 towards our charity. Jason, thank you so much. So how many does that make for Jason entries into this? How many? Jason now gets several entries, $5 entries.
Yeah.
Jason, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And you could win multiple times because it's a case. So there's 5 sodas. So it could be just one person or it could be several people. But I appreciate that, Jason. It means a lot. So a lot of good stuff. How does the other site work? Okay. So Travis is asking how this other site works. It's pretty easy. It's just kind of like an eBay or any, like, I don't know if you've ever been to any other charity functions or stuff like that. Mason, have you ever been to like a charity gala or something like that? And so like what you do is you bid on it just like any other thing, like eBay. Time runs out. Whoever is the highest wins. So next Wednesday, we'll be live. And whoever is the highest wins. Now, a couple items, a lot of stuff I put a higher buy it now price. So if you'd like to just donate, what happens is when you win, afterwards, I'm going to contact or let you know, hey, you won, you'll get a notification. You go over to our website, that is our donation site. So the one that I kind of showed right here. So the same place that you're donating here, you'll go and donate. Say you win the autograph comedian pack. And you won it for $100. You go over there and make $100 donation, and then I'll send you the 2 Funko Pops. So it's a good way for you to do something a little different than Whatnot. Also a good way for me not to handle the money in between. You're making a donation right to the foundation. I'm covering the shipping costs. That's what I'm covering out of this one. Where like Whatnot, you pay for the shipping costs and other things, but there's a lot of other fees associated with that. I have to figure that into my taxes. I have to figure in, because I'm selling stuff and still getting income from it and putting it different places. So this way you guys can make a donation. Plus it'll help us for getting our match as well, to our $1,000 extra match. So hopefully a lot of fun stuff. So if you could ask the community one thing, Mason, what would you ask them right now? Like what do you think you'd be interested in?
I guess the biggest thing would probably just be like, what do they want to see Gemini focus on the most? I know we talked about like mystery boxes and stuff like that, but like what's going to bring people, to Gemini, to the website, to actually, help make it better. So like, I guess from a website standpoint, like what can we do on the website to make it, better for people to use the website and stuff like that. And obviously like they can go check out the website after this and stuff like that, and maybe leave some comments or send us an Instagram DM or something. But I think that's the biggest thing, is just making it, how can we make it easiest for people to actually be able to find the pops that they want? Because like I said, collection buying for us isn't necessarily an issue. Like we are getting tons and tons of collections and stuff like that. So it's mostly just going to be kind of like, how do we actually allow people to find the pops that they want at the prices that they want?
So I think one of the things that like I've learned from kind of selling on a marketplace, like Whatnot has the live, but they still have a marketplace as well too.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, they've integrated the marketplace into Google kind of shop search. Like you finally see it popping up there. Like if you search things, before you'd see Macari and maybe eBay and stuff like that. So I think the better you do with your website to integrate that when people are searching for stuff, and having the right naming convention and all those kind of things help a lot. But I think also doing those kind of weekly drops. I think a lot of people have talked about, like, whether it's a weekly drop for Funko or a weekly drop for mystery boxes, they know what to expect. They know come back, and then, having a good, I think starting to build a really good, I don't know if he gave you access to like the emails of, Gemini, like the email list, like of all the customers from Gemini. I mean, for how many years, if you have access to that, that's a way to also contact people back and be like, hey, we have this, we're dropping this, come on over, those kind of things as well. I think that's a big one. I think a lot of people say consistency, great customer service, and a variety of stock. I think that's the consistency is the big thing. I think also customer service. I know you guys have helped. Someone actually recently reached out to me, and I think they said they reached out to you, and you were able to something got out, and it was a fake, and you were able to help them out and correct the situation really quick. And I think that means a lot. I think customer service. Once you kind of lose trust from people, like you lose those customers, and it's almost impossible to get them back.
And that, like, I know what you're talking about with that fake one. It was the one that just kind of like slipped through the cracks. Obviously, when we're handling so many pops, it's like stuff's just gonna get through. And the hard part too is like fakes are so good nowadays, some of them, that it's like it's very hard unless you actually like do the research into some of them, it's they can slip through. But yeah, we just totally refunded him and just didn't ask to return it. We're so sorry, and that's kind of customer service is what we really want to focus on, because I know like even Funko customer service is like you can't even get in contact with anyone there if you have an issue. So like obviously just being able to talk to us on our end and us be able to make the issue right and go from there is kind of like that's what we want to focus on, is just making it where people get what they're paying for, really.
I think having the customer service there, I think doing like kind of like the good drops and information, I think easy to find and search. I found your site pretty easy to search and find things. I was looking up some of the stuff that you sent over to see if you guys had it and like comparable, like what it was and things like that, and it was really easy to search and find. And some of the other things I was looking up, I think that's definitely something that's really nice to have out there. I think a lot of people say weekly, so I think the important thing is consistency. I hear from the community. I would say probably a great thing is like figuring out when do you want to do a weekly drop. Do you want to do it on like a Friday or Saturday or Sunday or something like that? I will say it's probably better to do it after payday. Always, when people are like thinking about like those kind of things, they're like, I have a little extra money, I can buy that grill I'm looking for, or buy something else. And I think also having, whether it's a deal or a sale or or working with trusted content creators and things like that, but working with them, but also like, can you set up any kind of affiliate marketing and things like that helps like people that like are content creators that sharing stuff out that could get something back after some at some return or something like that, or bringing whether it's a percentage or things like that. I think that always helps as well too. You missed the Freddy Funko as Frodo. Well, you can go grab him. I'll be on my whatnot right now. If you missed him on there, he's sitting on my whatnot. You must have missed him on there. So but what else do we have? I think a lot of it's like just upfront customer service,
like that.
I think also like, I don't know if there's a chance to like, if you bundle stuff you save and things like that. I think that always is a really good thing. Like, hey, you spend this much, you save. I will say one thing I did like about Gemini always is you spend $100, you got free shipping. So it encouraged me to spend $100 when I was on the site. A lot of times I'm like, well, if I'm going to buy these sodas and this stuff, I might as well spend a little bit more and get free shipping instead of paying $15, that kind of thing.
So we try like the free shipping on everything, just to kind of, because was an Amazon seller and stuff before this, and you kind of worked in it anyway. So we tried that, and people just started buying all the cheap stuff, and that was like it. So like we just were basically breaking even. So we're like, we gotta up it. So we just upped it to 65 now, which is the same as like Funko. And that's kind of that sweet spot where like if we're buying stuff and people are buying around that price point, like even if they get free shipping, it at least doesn't eat into cost too much on the low end.
I think that's definitely like something you have to think about. I do want to say real quick, Eric, I saw you sent a donation of $80 over. Eric, thank you so much for doing that. So we'll definitely, like I said, in the next about like 20 minutes or so, we'll probably go and see who all made donations. So if you haven't made a donation yet, please go over and do that, and we'll go ahead and we'll give away some sodas at the end here, all that good stuff. But what else we have? Make sure if you have sales, promote it better than Funko. So, Travis, I mean, the one thing Funko does promote it. I don't think they promote it a lot prior. I think they're good at once they go live, they kind of have it.
Yeah.
I will say the biggest thing for you, if you do have access to that email list, I think that'll help a lot. Getting maybe returning customers. Of course, you guys you're posting a lot on social media, which I think is really good for you guys to get connected, and you're doing a good job with that. So if you haven't followed them over both on Instagram and on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it today, but X over there, go make sure to give them a follow and check out, what they're posting, because you're posting grails all the time, or sales and deals, and I think flash deals and things like that. I don't know if you've seen any traction in doing those kind of things, but
yeah, for people that don't really, because I'm sure there's a lot of people on here too that haven't really even been on the Gemini Instagram website or anything. Like usually on the weekends, like weekend nights, we'll throw up like a 24-hour flash sale just to because that's kind of when people are kind of, maybe kind of meandering around and stuff like that. And you might get some good stuff if you're just kind of looking around and stuff like that. We try to drop prices to where you get a crazy deal. Just like, 5 or 6 pops a weekend, kind of get some stuff moving and get some people some deals. And so because we kind of want to, like I said, we want to build that hype too. We want people to also be on the lookout for stuff and to find the stuff that they want, because that's what makes collecting fun. Like if you can just get everything you want, that kind of takes away a lot of the thrill of the hunt and the chase and the feeling you got like a crazy deal because you found something that no one else really found. You were the first one to find it.
Yeah. So if you haven't been over to their website, definitely go take a search. Did you set up that code on there?
Yes.
So if you're looking for a code, I put it on my Instagram and everything, but just use code Professor. So go over there, use code Professor. You can definitely check that out. But let's go ahead. Let me get this.
Yeah, and the code's active now. So if anyone wants to make any purchases.
So if you haven't checked them out, GeminiCollectibles.net. And you can go over there and see what's all on the site. And there's a lot of good stuff. And I mean, free shipping on $65 is a really, I think, fair free shipping kind of point too. I really think for most businesses, I've seen a lot up it even more. I think a great example, I think Toy Temple used to be $100. Now they're $200. You're seeing a lot of changes. Shipping has gone up definitely recently, especially if you are a USPS customer for priority. Those rates have gone crazy anymore. Like they, I think, went up like 40%, 50%, something like that recently.
I will say the nice thing about Funkos is that because if you ship just one of them, just because of their size and weight, it's usually first class, pretty cheap. And then if people add on multiples to those, that's what really kind of helps build in.
It becomes almost like it's only like $2 or $3 more to ship a couple more, up to a certain amount. Till someone buys like 8 cases of sodas from you, and then you realize, oh wow, that starts adding up. It gets heavy.
We have a couple customers that buy 20 at a time, and then that's where the prices start to get. There's kind of like that. Like I think it's like once they buy like 6 or over 6 of them is when it kind of the weight and the size start to get a little out of control.
Yeah,
the prices start to kind of get exponential.
I know for like Whatnot, I think Whatnot has some of the best. Like that's one thing I do love about them is they actually give really good pricing for their shipping. I think right now it's like $9.50 for priority shipping up to 5 pounds. So really, and it's a 12 by 12 kind of box situation, like 12 by 12 by 12. So you can fit a good amount of Funko in one box if you're shipping out and something like that and keeping it under 5 pounds. But even when I ship other things, like sometimes mystery boxes and that, I'm like, it's better for me to ship 2 mystery boxes than to combine them together and ship them in a bigger box and pay like $20 for shipping. I can send each one for $8 or something like that. So
exactly, it's all bad.
So a lot of that stuff. So for you, you're not doing. You said brick and mortar. No plans
As
to
of
do
right now,
brick-and-mortar,
no. I
right?
mean, if we did, I don't think we would focus too much on having like a lot of stuff in store. It'd probably more so just be for like people to come and sell collections and stuff like that.
Okay.
We looked into the costs and everything. It just for now it just doesn't make sense. I mean, based off what we would pay and what we kind of think people would come in and stuff like that, just the costs outweigh the benefits from that standpoint right now. But that's not to say we're not going to ever do it. But again, like we also have a lot going on with the online website right now. So it's kind of one of those things where, I mean, we've only had this for a month and a half now. So we're still learning a lot. We're still doing a lot of research into like where we can go, but we really want to focus on getting the actual like the structure and the bones of the website down back to kind of where it was and all that kind of stuff. And then kind of expand out from there, whether it's expand to other brands or brick and mortar or anything like that.
Yeah. So, and I think it's good to like think about that because it also depends on like where you live and what's around you and
Yeah.
all those kind of things as well. And then where your warehouse is might be somewhere different than where you're fulfilling like what you're doing.
Exactly.
And most people have started the opposite way, right? They didn't do any online sales; they just had a store, comic book shop, or a collectible toy comic book shop, and then they go in to start selling on eBay and other things as well too. Where you guys are really into the Amazon market and your website market, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and we actually have some comic book stores that we've already kind of partnered with who have been sending us like some consistent collection. So it's been nice.
Okay.
That's really nice because we know that we're going to always have kind of that stock coming in for the website. So even if kind of the email leads kind of dry up and stuff like that, we know where at least we have those partnerships where we can at least continue to list stuff on the website so people can continue to get new products and new pops coming up, and it's not just like starting to sit stale.
So that's a good question, I guess. Like, so people on here, there might be some people watching, or some people watch the replay or something like that later on. Like, what do you look for when you're trying to buy someone's collection? Like, what kind of things do you take into factor? Like, when you're looking at it, what should they do to prepare if they want to like sell their collection to you and that kind of thing?
So, from a buying standpoint, I'm actually looking at the cross save collectibles question on the side here.
Yeah.
So this will probably kind of answer that question too. When we first started buying, we were focusing kind of on the PPG price, and we were just offering a flat percentage of that price. And we realized that wasn't 100% accurate because there's also ways to inflate prices on PPG. Like there's some stuff that, is a convention sticker that's $50, but the other one's $200, but like it's hard to check, and it's sometimes people just put it at $200 just to get the higher price. And so we kind of got rid of that, and so now we kind of have an algorithm that we use on our end. So if people want to sell us a collection, they can send us the HobbyDB link and then .csv file. If you want any information on this too, if anyone wants to reach out, just contact at GeminiCollectibles.net or fill out the form on our website. And we can send you all the information on how to do it. But we kind of now more so have an algorithm that looks at prices across all platforms and not just HobbyDB, because like HobbyDB is not 100% accurate. For the most part, it is. I mean, it's definitely the best place out there. Yeah, but it's still not. There's a lot.
It's a good starting point sometimes.
Yeah. So for now on the website, we've kind of been basing stuff off of that, and we don't really cross-save collectibles. Answering your question, we don't really check if it went up or down too much. And I think that's one of those things too, where like, if we're not checking in the future, maybe you're going to get a crazy deal because the prices have started to go up on stuff, but we still have a pop that's, $40, which is now an $80 pop. So it could be beneficial in the future. And for us, like we have 1,200 some pops, I think, on the website right now. Like it's just, it's too much to just kind of keep track of all that. So right now, like I said, we're just kind of focusing on not focusing on the HobbyDB price. We're kind of basing it off of that. And from my experience with buying and selling, I kind of know if stuff's overpriced. So like if there's a HobbyDB, something that's HobbyDB like $60, and maybe I know it's really only selling for $40, we'll try to lower the price a little bit like that. But right now, a lot of stuff too that we're listing, we actually did buy for that percentage of HobbyDB. So we kind of have to list some stuff maybe a little bit higher just to at least break even if it's not technically like a fair market value, if it might be a little bit higher. So we're still in that transitionary period. We're still trying to figure stuff out, and we're still learning. Because like I said, I'm totally new to this thing. And again, going back to your email, we were talking about with like your email list, like I didn't get anything from Gemini. I didn't get access to the old website, old orders, like anything. I basically just got the domain, the socials, and like
that right there is like, I think, a value of a company, like the contact list and like having that information, being able to like reach out and be like, hey, we're back, we have all this, we're dropping a sale, come get it, like you're gonna have to build that back up. That takes a lot of work. And then also looking, like you said, at I think looking at Hobby DB and those kind of things, but also it's a good insight. Like if you get a collection and say someone's selling you 200 things and you look at it and their average price is $10, like it's going to be a lot different what you're going to spend on a collection where someone's going to send you 100 things, but their average price is like 80 some dollars. You're going to be like, oh, what? This is a really good collection. Like this has stuff that people will want, I can sell, where other things are going to be really hard to sell and are going to sit. It might have been like they got them on clearance, they got them on the Amazon, shopping deal or Funko shop deal of the day and stuff like that. So
and it's the hard part too is like people will throw in like a lot of sodas and stuff like that, and sodas are good, but at the same time, Hobby DB, we found on like the sodas and the stuff that's not just strictly pops is like very, very inflated, just because a lot of people don't really, they want to open the sodas themselves. They don't want to necessarily collect just the figure 100% of the times. And most people that have them on the Hobby DB list have already opened the soda. So we're really focusing just on pops right now. And then also like we're not really focusing on the autograph side of things yet, because it's very, those are kind of harder to put a value on. So like Hobby DB value we found is just very inaccurate on those. And it just, when when people are sending us, we just got a collection the other day of 2,000 pops that we're trying to figure out what to pay for. It's an $80,000 collection, and if we have to go through multiple of those a day, it's just so much work to figure out what to do. So we're just kind of trying to figure out the best way to buy where we can get a response to people quickly, but also at the same time, like we have to make money. Like we are a company, we can't just buy and sell at cost. So it's been a balancing act for sure. And like I said, the one thing, if anyone listening to this takes away from this, is just to kind of give us some grace while we kind of walk into this, because our intention is to become, a big part of the Funko community. The hard part is, like I said, we're so new to this. It's only been a month and a half. So there's a very big learning curve. And some of these companies like that are already doing it, like especially with the mystery box and stuff, they've been at it for years ahead of us. So, it's one of those things where we're trying, and we definitely want to buy collections. We want to sell collections. It's just, we're trying to still figure out the best way possible, but we definitely have the plans in place. We kind of know where we're going. It's just a matter of it kind of coming to fruition now.
I will say one of the things I have seen with some of our people that I know that own stores and that, and we've done some Albie Pops ask about cons and going to cons. Have you guys done any shows or cons in your area or outside of that, or thought about that?
Not right now. So we a couple of us will be at New York Comic Con in October, but we're not gonna have a booth. We're just going to just kind of talk to people, and so we'll have Gemini stuff on. So if you see us around, come by and say hi. But we'll be there only on Friday. So just kind of checking it out and seeing where it goes, because like I said, we are new to this. So before we jump in and get a whole booth, we're gonna go kind of experience a con and see kind of what goes on there, and kind of see if that's something that's kind of worth our time. Because like I said, it's some people, like we know. So for example, like Whatnot, some people might make really good money on, but we might try and be like, this just isn't worth it for us. Whereas like for us, there's other markets that might be better. And it's just kind of finding that act of like, what does actually make sense for us and what's our expertise versus like what makes sense for other people. And we've been flooded with comments of people saying like, try this. And it's hard to try it all at once. So we kind of want to focus, like I said, on like just one thing at a time and kind of go from there.
I think you guys need to figure out what works for you, but definitely don't make sure your avenue is not just one source. I think that's one downfall I've seen people make. It's like, we only do this and this is it, and I love doing shows because I love meeting people in person. That's why I like doing the shows more so. I hated the work behind it. Like I would rather do a 2-hour Whatnot auction 5 times a week than doing sitting at a show and preparing for a show that will be a 3-day show or 2-day show or something like that. Like I didn't mind when they're 1-day show kind of things and kind of set up and like go and they're smaller, but it's also hit or miss. Like I've been to shows where you're like, where are the people? Like who no one's buying anything, or it's over like too many other Funko sellers and they'll have like unless you have very unique things, which I think had a pretty good unique stuff I brought. Like we didn't do new stuff. We did a lot of stuff we got from mystery boxes, our own collection and things like that. But it's hard work because you got prepping for it, you're packing for it, you're taking it, you're either renting a van, you're renting the space. Like I was like, I'd rather do a couple whatnot, like 2 whatnot shows in a month than do all that work for the same kind of money that you're kind of making off of those. I will say it was great to meet people, it was great to other sellers. Also, I know a couple people that own shops. One of the great things is they would buy out people's booths afterwards. So they'd go by and there's like smaller, booths or like people that are like had maybe only a small booth or table, like where they're selling. And they're like, do you want to sell? Like, do you not want to go home with that? And they'd buy it out. And that's how they just brought stuff back to their store. They did a lot of Amazon selling. I think they do a lot of whatnot now too, but they did a lot of Amazon kind of like moving it that market afterwards. They would put it in their shop for a week, didn't sell, then move it on to Amazon, get new collections in, put it in their shop for a week, and then move it on to Amazon and keep moving. Stuff like that.
And Amazon has been, that's how I kind of got into all of this. So, we do have there's a great market on there, and it's very easy just because all the marketing is done for you. So you just kind of hop on. But at the same time, like I don't know the customers, and it's just another number. It's just a numbers game. Whereas, with Gemini, you actually are interacting with customers. You're actually, we've had people email us and say thank you for the pops they got, and it's cool to see people like repost stuff on social media of like what they got in the mail and stuff like that. Like that's much more fun than just another number. So, like I said, like this is just so new to us. So it really is going to be just an uphill battle of just trying to figure out what's best and what kind of pleases as many people as we can. Obviously, you're not going to please everyone, but we want to do what's best for everyone involved.
Yeah, and I think as you learn and grow, and you learn from your own mistakes, but you also learn what you enjoy and like too. Like I think that has to be part of it. Like what helps you make money, but also you have to kind of enjoy doing that part of it as well, as running a business and keeping going. And then, what kind of community do you have, in your areas or outside your areas or international or, locally or those kind of things that you keep building. Do you guys ever go pick up collections or do you mostly have them shipped?
So right now we mostly have them shipped. If they're in the, like, can come to us, we just don't have time to go pick stuff up. Like it's a lot. Before I actually had acquired Gemini, I was kind of buying collections without using the Gemini name. And I went down to New Mexico from Cleveland. So it was like a 28-hour drive with a trailer. And I got in an accident and somehow we were totally fine. We hit an ice patch on the way home and like 360 with the trailer. Oh. And so after that, I was like, we're just going to use shipping. I was like, I'll just pay for shipping. I'll a little more. But like if people are in the area, so like we've had a couple people drive from like Pittsburgh down from Kentucky up because it's just a couple hour drive for them, and we'll give you a little bit better of a price or give like cover, pay for basically we pay for shipping, just give it to you instead, and that kind of gives you a little bit better of a deal and stuff like that. So it just takes time, and we just don't have have time to do it.
I think it helps. It's hard. I know some people have done like road trips kind of thing and picks up, as they go along, they'll like, okay, we'll map out like these 8 stops we're going to do along the way and pick up collections. But they have to be a big enough collection too. Like you said, it can't be 50 pops. It can't be like, here's my 50 Funko Pops you're going to pick up, unless they're 50 really high-end grails or something like that. And you might want to pick them up so they don't get damaged in the mail and stuff like that.
Exactly.
All those kind of things.
Just from an Amazon standpoint, we sell like almost 200,000 pops a year. So we're processing tons from a wholesale standpoint. So like when you're looking at the cost benefit analysis of going to pick up collections, it's just not worth the time for us from, and that's kind of why too, like when we look at like a whatnot standpoint and stuff like that, like it's kind of like, is that worth our time to focus there when we have the system down to process all of these wholesale pops? And the one of the issues as part of before is that Funko just increased the wholesale pricing. So we were originally buying from Steve himself from Gemini, so we're getting deals. We also were working with some other wholesale distributors. Now pops across the board have gone up, so that's really eaten into like that wholesale cost. So now that's why we're kind of moving more to focus on the collection standpoint, just because not only is there better margin, but at the same time, like I think the older pops are a little bit cooler too. Yeah, there's sweet pops that come out, but it's like, I would rather spend a little bit more and get a pop that I know is just much
Well,
cooler and vaulted and stuff like
and
that.
you might have to sit on how many cases of the same thing if you had to
Yeah,
buy it from Funko. You'd be like, oh, I'm gonna go in. Everyone's gonna want this new Netflix show, and then
yeah,
everyone wants the one pop from the Netflix show, but doesn't care about the 5 other characters that you bought from that series. That could always happen, or it flops. Like everyone thinks it's going to be great and it doesn't do well. Those kind of things. I think you got your tried and true like classic characters. You get a Scooby-Doo character, you're probably going to be fine. You're going to sell out. You're going to sell a lot of things like that. But if you get like something that's just you don't know, and I know selling like that stuff too is like, are you going to sit on it? Are you going to be able to get? I think that's the way to go for you guys for right now, because I think there's enough of already like market for the other stuff. Like people are buying it directly from Funko. They might buy it from a couple other sites, but mostly, I mean, if you want anything that new coming out for Funko, or probably Entertainment Earth or someone like that's going to do it, and then kind of focus on, hey, we got all this stuff that we want to make sure stuff keeps circulating too. Like I think that's the big thing, is like people are selling collections. You want to get into other collectors' hands, because every day there's every time we do a live stream, there's probably someone on hey, this is my first live stream, this is my first time coming on, or my first time wanting to check out what's happening, what's going on. And I just started collecting, I just started getting into Funko Pops, or I just started collecting Funko sodas, or I just, like still, even though they're not making Funko sodas really right now, like there's people that are just like, I just started getting into Funko sodas. Like I just started grabbing some. I like what they look like. And, the figures of them, you never know. Or maybe Hikaris, like someone gets into Hikaris, like they get 1 or 2 and they're like, I want 5 other ones. I want to see what else is out there. So I think that's a big thing.
Yeah, and I guess we can kind of transition to something else too that I thought about as you were talking too, is like, we kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, but like Funko, from when you're buying an exclusive, like I said, you have to buy massive quantities, and like we have so many ideas with Funko, but because they're so corporate, like I've been pitching them ideas, and I think that one of the issues with it is that like I mostly talk to my sales rep, and then she has a boss who I can talk to, but like I can't reach anyone above them. So there's really no, like, they're not the main decision makers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like we have all these ideas, but the issue is Funko, it's just because of how corporate, and because they're a publicly traded company, they have to please the shareholders. So they're looking at revenue standpoint for the most part, plus a profit standpoint. They're not really looking at like, this is good for the community anymore, this is good for blah 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 blah. And that's what we love to partner with, either like YouTube's or Thrilljoy, or somewhere where we can get like more quicker moving stuff, because if we're placing an order for 10,000 units, we're gonna have to hold that for most likely for a while, unless it's a very good exclusive. And we just can't afford to take the risk. But Funko, they just aren't willing to kind of listen to like the ideas we have for some more limited stuff like that, and all that kind of stuff. And I understand, because like it probably just isn't worth the time for them. But like a company like Thrilljoy, they're already doing limited releases, so I just have no way to get in contact with them. I tried to reach out, and obviously Brian was kind of, him and Steve had a very good relationship from the beginning. That's how Gemini got its start. So it'd be cool to at least just talk to him and kind of partner with him from a Thrilljoy standpoint. But so if anyone in the comments has any connections to Thrilljoy, like send them Gemini's name, because we want to work with them. But
I mean, I think also like you going to New York Comic Con, you're gonna make those connections, whether it's with the YouTube's people, or the Thrilljoy people, or the Rocky Moto people, or whoever you decide to collect with. Or if you decide, hey, we'd love to feature some of these smaller designer toy companies on our site, and like drop some of their exclusives and things like that, and have some like smaller niche things that kind of not for everyone out there, but it's a different kind of collector group. Because I think that was one thing cool about Gemini too, is like, because of its history with Funko, it had some very unique stuff that you did not see anywhere else, still out there and still around to bring in there. So I think that's definitely something in there. But it's also, it shows like something like people want to get in contact with some of these other companies, because it is a lot harder to work with Funko. It is not as easy, and they expect so many sales. And I knew people that like used to buy a ton from them, pre-order stuff, and you know, they own shops and things like that. And what would happen is all of a sudden they would be hit with a bill like, here, we're ready to ship this stuff finally. Like we've been waiting extra, like so many extra months for it, and then they get hit with a huge bill because they're like, oh, we're ready to ship it all to you. Oh, but we don't have the two other pops that are in that line. So your customers pre-ordered and bought the whole line. So now you got to sit on so much of your stock and wait for the other two to come in, or decide to send them and pay more money for shipping and all that kind of stuff too. So
and Steve got started with Gemini, like he was getting a lot of those backdoor deals. So when they went public and that kind of ended, you know, like obviously I love Steve, I'm not trying to talk bad about Gemini in the future, but like that definitely did help Gemini, and that allowed them to have very rare pieces. And like we've been getting a lot of comments and messages about people being like, do you have pros anymore? Do you have this anymore? Blah, blah, blah. And like, we don't have any of that rare stuff, because we don't have Funko's now no longer has like special treatment that I'm aware of for any companies. Like it's kind of all just a player, and it's really just a numbers game. If you're doing the numbers, then they're willing to talk to you. So, you know, that's also why it's kind of an uphill battle for us as well. But that's why collection buying is great, because we can get some of those more rare pieces and actually have them for sale instead of just being where Gemini was kind of on the downswing, because it was really just he was only buying from Funko wholesale, and he just kind of had no desire to actually, you know, expand beyond that.
Yeah, I think a lot of it was also like they just stopped like talking with the community, like communicating out there. Like unless you knew to go on Gemini's site, which I happen to know, like go on there and I check out the bulk sales and like what he had on there and stuff like that. Like anything I want to put away and buy. Like I'm a big collector to like called squirrel away. Like the idea of like you grab stuff and you know, oh, it's like not great now, but you know, just wait 2 years. This stuff's gonna like 3 times the price, because you're not going to make it anymore. You know, if you're lucky with that, it's harder now, I think, than that, unless you get these limited pieces. But I think also one of the things Gemini had for a while was right after every con, they were able to drop a ton of con stickers, like boom, like they would have the site full of like everything that was con stickers, and they were one of the few that had them all, like that I'm guessing they didn't have someone standing in line at the con and going through. And like now it's a little different, because people do that. They go on Whatnot, they sell them live like that night and sell them through. But for a while there, it was only through Gemini. Like you'd see, oh, all these cons, like, and you could go and buy stuff with the con sticker afterwards.
Yeah, and I mean, I have some insight as to all that too and stuff. So, you know, it's I don't really want to speak about that, because that's kind of like stuff Steve had told me and all that. But like I will say, you know, Gemini they were boosted up by a lot of that stuff, because they had that exclusivity. And I think that's what these limited edition drops are going to bring. And Funko, it seems like Funko is being fair with them. So that's why it's great, because they're not just favoring the Hot Topics, the Chalices, the massive companies. They're favoring the smaller players in the game. And I'm sure other people besides just Gemini who are smaller, like I would probably bet $7 a pop, and all of them have probably had in contact with Funko about getting some. It's just kind of a matter of when, because like I said, the exclusives do take a while to kind of come to fruition. But yeah, like I think having that exclusivity for certain retailers is where it needs to be, because it brings people to the website. And that's, you know, that's kind of the whole name of the game, is just getting people into your shop, because the limited edition we're going to have, it's going to also bring people onto Gemini, and they're going to discover us, and they're going to kind of go from there. So we just want to make the best impression possible right off the bat. That's kind of the whole goal, is just to have the best customer service experience. That's why, like I was saying earlier, it's nice that we're able to actually look and see how these other companies are handling these LE drops, because we're going to be able to figure out, okay, this worked, this didn't work. Like we don't.
What fans love, people complain about, what kind of gripe you can expect, like after it happens, that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, some of these companies got like threatened, like people are like mad about. It was crazy though, because truthfully, most of them have been pretty fair. I will say, the only thing I have not enjoyed, I will say, I like Chalice as a company overall, and I think what they did was all right. Fine how they did it. The only thing I don't like is they keep using their their exclusives as like hits in their like live stream, like surprise sets, which are pretty much mystery boxes on whatnot, and they keep using them over and over and over again. I get every once in a while I'll have some in there or something like that, but like not every stream like that's like your hit like for it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, you could have just sold those to people and at the retail cost and they could have bought them. But I think having, I think they were trying to bring people to their whatnot, having them on the stream. I get that. Like, I get, like, people have to understand, like, these companies have to figure out different ways to market their company as well, too, whether it's come to our booth at a con or come to our stores only. Like, some people have said, no, we're only in store. We're selling these. You want them? You got to come to the store, and only one per person or whatever, like that kind of thing. So I think having a good variety of stuff is a good way to do it. But I like to see it. It brings some fun back to collecting. It brings, you can't get everything. I think that's the big thing too. Like, you shouldn't be able to get everything. You should have some things that are a little harder to get, and then when you do get it, you feel really lucky and fortunate and all those kind of things too. So
yeah, exactly, and that's what makes it fun. If you could get, like I said, if you can get everything you want, it's kind of like, what's kind of the point? If everything is $15 retail like it is, like, is it really that fun? I mean, some people maybe, but other people, knowing that you have a limited edition of 750 Star Killer, and even though you paid $500 for it after the release, it's still like, it's cool to know you have, and so, like, I think it's like I said, it's everything's kind of that balancing act. It's that balancing act of finding out, like, where is that happy medium, and Funko's going through so many changes too internally with their CEOs and all that, and a lot of layoffs and stuff like that. So it's, they're fighting uphill battle too. I mean, they reported, I think last quarter was like a 20 million loss or something. They were more than that,
like 41 million, I think. It was pretty big, and their stock went way down. Rebounded a little bit, but I think also it's hard being a public company. Like, you have to realize, like, it's a lot. You can't pivot as fast. You can't do certain things. You have to be very careful. Hopefully this new CEO gets in there. I really hope they're also engaged with the community. I think that's one thing. Kind of the person I want to say they're interim, because they only lasted about a year. Cynthia, she was only there for a year, and I really didn't hear much about her at all or involvement in anything. I think with this kind of company that you have a fan base with, it's good to be, like, at least somewhat out there, whether it's just a message every once in a while out there, or at all the cons, to make sure you're out and about and connecting with people and doing some stuff. But it's just very different, because both Brian and Mike were very different too, like how they connected with fans and kind of what they did in between events and other stuff, where Mike was all about the fans, and Brian was there, but he's not, like, you don't hear from him about Thrilljoy until a con comes up. Like, it's very quiet in between, and he might be working his butt off doing all kinds of other stuff, but he's not the, like you're like, oh, your name is on every one of these. Like, you should be out there, like, talking about what's going on with your company, because your name is on every one of these. Like, that to me, it's kind of like, I guess, kind of like a designer. Like, should they just kind of hang back, or be out there and talk about their product and what they're having? And everyone's a little different. So figuring that out.
So, I know, like, from Steve's standpoint too, like, because the reason he has, like, some Gemini had all those, like, they had a ton of exclusives and a lot of really cool ones, like small pieces and stuff. But, like, because Funko's now a public company, there's all the licenses, there's the legal, it has, like, the exclusives, and even regular pop licenses have to go through all the chain of command. Whereas, like, when Brian and Steve were working together, Steve would just call Brian directly and be like, hey, can you make me this creature? Can you make the box drip and glow? And then it was like, yeah, I'll try and figure it out. And then that was it. And then he'd get it in a couple months, like, it was a quick process. And I know, like, Steve told me, I think Brian got in some legal trouble, a couple of times, because he would just make stuff and then figure out a way to just basically pay off to get out of the legal trouble, or send him a pop or something like that. Just like, he didn't care. He just wanted to make what people wanted and what he thought was cool. But now Funko's corporate, and there's all that red tape they have to go through.
Well, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of different things you have to deal with when you're public versus private. So, I don't want to keep you on here too late, Mason. So you're welcome to jump off if you want. I'm gonna stick around, talk a little more about like what's coming up with the auction thing. Also, I got some sodas to give away and stuff like that. But I don't want to make you stay on here and hang out with me. But anything like last you want to kind of talk to people about or tell them about, go ahead and do it.
I think we've pretty much covered everything. Like I said, we have some exciting exclusives and LEs coming out, and hopefully we're working on some more. It's just kind of going to be that waiting game, and just please engage with us on social media and tell us what you want. If we do something that you don't like tell us, because obviously like we want feedback, both good and bad. So we're here to kind of make it as enjoyable as possible, and we just want to make everyone happy. And if there's any other questions people have too that are still listening, if they want to drop them here real quick, I can answer them. And I can let you kind of also watch the live stream, but I'll let you kind of take it away and do your thing.
Yeah, I think, if anyone like is wondering about some of the stuff they're doing, one of the big things is if you're looking for stuff that's not brand new, now's the time to go over to Gemini and check out like what it all is on there, because you're loading a ton of stuff from different collections on there all the time. More and more different things. I've seen some great things that have been posted on there. I've been tempted to go after, you see a lot of good things with it, but exciting to see what you're going to do with Gemini and connecting with the community and keep growing. And I say that's the best thing you can do is just, I think everyone that I've seen as successful as like a seller or like company is the biggest thing is customer service is like number one. And then, having consistency out there. I think everyone kind of talked about that with you tonight. I think that's the best thing for you. If you have whatever you're going to do or whatever you're going to put out, like, hey, we're going to try this and we're going to do a drop every Friday night or Saturday night or Sunday night or whatever. And like, we're going to do this for the next 12 weeks. And, if it doesn't work after the 12 weeks, you could say, we'll start over. But first 4 weeks, it might not work because no one knows about it or knows what's going on. But then people see and be like, oh man, they're dropping like some stuff that's going quick too. Like maybe it's like, oh, a little below, the rate, or hey, if you use this coupon code, you can get it on this night only for the, first hour for this price, that kind of thing, all those kind of fun stuff. So hopefully all that turns out well with you. Like I said, both Shannon and I appreciate everything you have done for us, sending over stuff. She's been going through in the living room, the boxes even more and separating stuff out today. I know a lot of people are like, when are you going to put stuff out? And so we do have some stuff going to launch on our website to shop. So you can buy like just soda charity packs. And then also we're going to do some mystery packs where we're going to throw in like Dorbs and pins and other stuff just to give everyone kind of a variety of things as well. And then we'll have a lot of the unique stuff also on our auction as well too, our live auction and whatnot. So hopefully you guys can check that out. And I appreciate you being on here, Mason. And
of course,
good luck with what you guys are doing. I'm sure we'll be in contact more. And like I said, feel free to reach out. I'm always, open to talk and chat and stuff like that. So
yeah, and thanks for having me on. I'm glad we got to, sit down and answer some questions and talk to some people. And I wanted to put a face to name in Gemini. Like I said, I didn't want people to just think that it was just like, the same old thing, just kind of behind the scenes and just posting on social media. So a lot of times if you're talking to us on social media or, sending an email, a lot of times it's probably going to be me responding or, one of our other team members, but there's just a few of us. So we're not a massive company, there's just a couple of us that are kind of working closely together. So, but yeah, thank you. Thanks for this opportunity. And I'm excited to see what happens with the charity auction. If anyone's in the chat wants to go donate, please go do it, because it's definitely a good cause.
Yeah, thank you, Mason, and have a great night. And hopefully, come out and check out PopFourceOne and stuff like that. It's a great time. Like even if you just pop on and chat, and like I don't know if you have the Gemini YouTube account or something like that, chat and pop in there and say hi and stuff like that. When we do PopFourceOne tomorrow night, we usually have like 150 people on hanging out with us on Thursday night, because we do it every Thursday night for the last 5 years, and that's why we talk about consistency. That's how you have to keep consistent. And I think that's the best thing out there. So appreciate it. And we'll see you soon. And I can't wait to see what numbers we get on the final donations.
Yeah, me too. All right. Thank you again. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you.
Have a good one.
You too.
All right, so everyone, again, thank you for hanging out with us. I do want to show you guys a couple other things. So we did talk about the auction site, but I want to go back to it just so you guys see what's going on. If you guys want to make some of the first bids on there, I would appreciate that because I'd love to see some action going on there. We'll probably talk about it on PFO. I will go back and check also the donations. So if you haven't made that donation directly to the website, remember $5. $25 will get you a free t-shirt as well. They'll contact you probably after it ends, like on the 29th, when Rally and Race kind of ends, probably contact you about those. But a lot of cool stuff on this site. So if you haven't checked this out, it'll end in a week. So you got a whole week to check this out. But there's a lot of great things on this site. So this site, let me put up the code for this site. So if you're wondering and want to go right to it, this will take you to our live charity auction site. And this site, I have tons of stuff like we talked about, the Ultron Grail. So for some reason, if you don't have a drop account, once it's time for redeem, I can send it, have it. So it's shipped to you as well too. But if you have a drop account, I can just send you the token for it. That was through me. Whole set of April Fool's NFTs. We got some, got Fluffy and Joe Coy autograph there. We got an 18 pack of sodas. Courtesy of Gemini, 18 different sealed sodas. That's some craziness there. So you're going to see a lot of great stuff like those kind of things on there. So hopefully you can check that out. Also, if you scroll down, you got some Thrill Joy, you got some other NFTs, which these are actually the physical ones. We got some Supernatural, got some gift cards from $7 a pop and Mystery Rail. We got a He-Man set here, He-Man package. Got Bam Bam, which is a great Flintstones grail there. We got Clay here from Sons of Anarchy, signed by Ron Perlman. So awesome. Also Hellboy. Great stuff. Coco Loungefly. This thing is beautiful. This is a beautiful bag. So if you're into Coco or have a girlfriend, wife, daughter, whatever into Coco, go bid on that one. And then we got the 4 legendaries from the West Coast Avengers as well too. We got a My Hero pack. You got a skate deck that's from SDC 2022, I believe. And then we got an autographed Sui Pop here. So, and then we got a whole case of the Gemini exclusive Black Lagoons, but you don't need a whole case because you might be able to win one tonight. Remember, we are doing the donations here. Let me go ahead and see if I can switch screens. Always fun here. Let's share this tab instead. We'll also refresh. All right, so we got a couple donations here. All the ones on the 20th. So thank you, Eric. Eric donated $80. So Eric, I'm going to put your name on the spreadsheet a couple times here because $80 was 5. So what do we got there? Yeah, nice. You did well, Eric. I'm going to get on there. What was your... Eric, what's your S? Eric with a K. S. All right. Eric, I'll put you on there. So Eric gets on there 16 times. So I have Jason on there. He's got 40. Jason, you have 40. Eric, I have you on here as 16. So I'm going to share this tab. I'm just adding to a spreadsheet. I'm going to type it over to a wheel of names. Hopefully, if we don't go over the amount, if not, I'll do a random picker and mix up stuff. But we have on here, we also have Pedro. You have 2. So Pedro, I'm going to put you in there. Thank you, Pedro. Got Pedro. I got Mom. I'm just going to put Mom instead of Lara. I got Mom on there. Anyone else interested in making a donation? I'll give you guys about 5 minutes. How about that? If you want in on possible case break here, I got 5 sodas from Creature for the Black Lagoon. If you want in on here, please go over and just make a quick donation here. Some other things. So I shared the link. I'm going to share it again. I'll share it in the stream as well, too. I don't know who's on here. I have as a mod, too. I have a couple people. But here is the link directly to it. It's also the QR code you can scan, but the link is there. I know like half of you watch from your TV, so that's why I do QR codes now a lot more, too. But this is the link to the Veterans Rally and Raise. Also, the link to the live charity auction. Let me do that one. Online auction. I'll do that one in a second here. This one is this separate site. And there are some opportunities. If you just want to buy one now and just buy it, you can also do that. So there's a couple ones. But online auction is this one. So I'm going to pin, though, the donation one as a message right now. And then you'll see the other one down there. So hopefully that'll help you guys out. You can go ahead and check and see who else has made a donation. If we need to add anyone. Not yet. All right. But like I said, every single donation here will add up. Hopefully we'll have the most at the end. So the items that are in the online auction, as I said, this one right here, at the end, you'll donate directly to the website as well. So say if you win this, no one else bids on it, you win it for $50. Or say if you win it for $80 or $100, you will just actually, once it's won, you'll go over and make a donation right there on the website as well too. So you'll go ahead and go back over there, make that donation and do it. So we got a lot going on. We also will be dropping stuff on our website as well too. That will be on the regular auction there, Gator. So anything that is coming up will be on our regular auction. So yeah, that one will be on our regular auction for whatnot. So any kind of like single thing, I did want to try this. I've never tried this before, and I thought this was a really cool way of doing it. So this is the weekly one. So if you want to do, this is the week-long online charity auction. So week-long, I'm going to change the name. Let's change it. Let's call it just online charity auction. So if you win, you'll actually make the donation directly to the Veterans Fund. I put that several times on the thing. I'll message you guys, whoever wins. We're going to do this. This one ends next week on the live as well, too. So this one ends next week. So you have a week. So if you're thinking about it, you can go back and make a bid, too, or see how things are going. But we also will have, of course, our Whatnot auction that's coming up. So that one, hopefully, I think probably all of you have already bookmarked, but that's on the 29th starting at 7 p.m. We'll also be dropping some stuff on our website, some soda packs, some mystery packs, some things like that, so you can buy as well, too. So some good, fun stuff coming up with that. But lots going on. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what all happens with this. Like I said, we try our best with a variety of different things and different ways to donate and all that good stuff. So yeah, if anyone can go over here to our Rally and Raise site, I really appreciate that, because like I said, this is the way we're going to get our bonus. So we're at already 64% of our goal of only 5,000 before we even do our live auction. Everyone, before we do our Whatnot auction right now, we are at 64%. We could probably be at 100% before we get to our live auction. Everything else will be gravy and extra and awesome. So I appreciate you guys doing stuff over there and having some fun and doing that with me. So yeah, this is a really cool way you can track and see what's going on with us. Also, this is like right through the foundation, so everything's legit and all those kind of things. So you can definitely, this is a way for you to, if you want to make a donation, a great way for you to just make a donation directly, instead of worrying about like doing a tip or, face like a YouTube, like a YouTube, anything like that. You don't have to worry about doing those kind of things. You don't have to worry about trying to make a donation to here. So I appreciate everyone kind of doing that. Let's see what else is going on. What other questions? What do we got? All right, let's go back and check. I gave you guys, 5-minute window here. We're getting close to that time. Let's see what we're looking like. So I got meetings like all day tomorrow. I'm not looking forward to meetings all day at work tomorrow. All right, so right now I have Pedro, Mom, Jason, and Eric. Has anyone else donated that I need to add to here? I have Pedro, Mom, Jason, and Eric. Eric, I appreciate the $80 donation. I really appreciate it. Jason, of course, $200. Mom, an extra $5. You already donated. And Pedro, thank you for your $10 in donations. Appreciate it a lot there. So I'll give you a few more minutes here, and we'll run some fun. I'm going to get the wheel of names up and all that good stuff. If you haven't been over to Gemini's website, that's another one to check out. We talked about as well too. So check out their website, see what they all have. I will say, you could, like, if you want to see some of the crazy stuff, we can see. Let's go instead of availability. Let's search by high to low. Let's see what craziness they have on there. Oh, that metallic thing. I do not have that one. The metallic thing with blue eyes on sale. This one. Too bad it has a little damage, but 480 piece. You won't see that very often. These Disney 9 inches. These are the 9-inch ones. 480 piece, 360 piece. Some regular show. All this Bugs Hyde and Bugs set. Mr. Hyde and Bugs Bunny set. Such a good one. Some great stuff on here. So if you haven't checked out, the OG Simpsons. Yeah, definitely some good ones. Red Skull is a great one. The Pink Scooby-Doo. You got some Adventure Time. 480 piece. You like your Yo Gabba Gabba. Some good ones. Plus, use code Professor. Don't forget. Code Professor there. All right, so let's stop sharing this for a second. Let's see if I can go back. Look at what's all going on. I just want to double check again. All right. Let's do this. Let's do a... Hey, Jason, how about I got something for you, Jason. I know if you want in on all these, but also we could do something kind of different. Let's see what we got. Let's get this. All right, I got Eric, got Jason, and I got Pedro and my mom, all different people on the wheel. Let's see if it'll handle this. I believe it will. All right, it will. So let me shuffle. Let's share the wheel of names. You guys are ready? Anyone else want in on the 5 creature from the Black Lagoon sodas? I got Jason, Eric, Mom, and Pedro. Let's do this. All right, I got a good mix. How many shuffles? Someone give me a number. How many shuffles do you guys want to see? number 3. For us, I said 3. All right. 1, 2, 3. All right. We got 3 shuffles. I'm gonna make this QR code thing go away here for now. Let me get that gone. Let me make this big. All right, 3 shuffles. We're gonna see who gets the first spot, and I'll mix them. How about that? I'll mix them up. And then I'll do AB. We'll just go around ABC, or at spot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's only 5 sodas in here. I took 1 out. We opened it. It was not a chase, so better shot for everyone here. All right. So first person that gets the top spot here, spot A. Good luck. Good luck. We have, Eric. Eric got 1 spot. Eric, thank you for your donation. You got the first top spot here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So Eric, thank you. I'm going to remove this one. Not all instances, just the one. So you still have a chance, Eric, to get more spots. Jason, Pedro, Mom, everyone hanging out. Let's see. Next one is Eric. Eric has 2 spots. All right, Eric. Congrats on your 2nd spot there. All right, next up. Good luck, good luck. And we have a Jason spot. So Jason, you got spot 3. I'll remove just this one. Good luck, good luck. Spot 4 goes to... Is it going to be Jason? Jason. All right. And then last spot. Good luck, good luck. Let's see. Let's see if Pedro can get one in there. Maybe my mom, maybe Pedro, maybe Eric. Eric's going to get another spot. Eric, you killed it on the spot. You killed it on the spots. So, all right, I'm going to remove the wheel here. Thank you. Eric, are you still here? All right. I have the spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, Eric. 3 is Jason. 4 is Jason. 5 is Eric. Again, Pedro, thank you so much. Pedro, for your donation, I'm going to send you a creature. I'll send my mom sodas anyway some other time. I'm sure she's still hanging out here. Pedro, I'm going to send you the common creature that I have here. All right, Pedro? So you're going to get this if you're still hanging out with us. Let me know. If you get anything from our charity auction or something like that, I'll slip it in there. If not, after that, I'll send it out to you. All right, Pedro? So just remind me. I'm going to put a note on there for you. But all right. So Eric, is Eric still in here? If not, I'm opening for Eric. You can watch it on the replay. But we'll go ahead and Eric, first one here. Let's see. And if I pull the chase, I won't open the other ones. If we pull the chase first off, it will be that crazy. I don't know. A little tappity tap. We're looking for some metallic goodness. Let's see what our first one will be. 1, 2, 3. No, it's a common. So Eric has a common here. Spot 1. I'll put it back in there. All right. So spot 1 was Eric's. Spot 2 is Eric. So spot 2. Like I said, I'm going to send this one to Pedro. I appreciate you, Pedro. All right, Eric, good luck, good luck. Spot 2. We're going to get some metallic goodness. Let's go. Should I open it? Nah, let's do Pog, and then I'll open it. Just so. Ready? Ooh, common. All right. Eric, that's 2 of yours. You still have 1 left. Could it be last can magic for you, or will it be time for Jason here? Jason has spot 3. Spot 3 on the bottom here. Jason, good luck, good luck. See what you get. Something new I wanted to try with you guys. Maybe we'll do something like this next week too. Maybe something different for any donations. If you guys like this. All right. Ready? Common. Oh. Common. Last 2. Jason, Eric. Jason 4. Eric 5. Jason, good luck, good luck. Also, I will say if anything doesn't for some reason sell on our online auction site, the one that we put out there, if something doesn't sell on this one, I'm going to put it on our Whatnot auction most likely. So, all right. But hopefully everything sells on there. We can raise some good money already before everything starts on Whatnot. Oh, Jason, in spot number 4 was keen for you. Congratulations, Jason, on a great-looking metallic chase. Let's check this thing out. Let's see what he looks like. Congrats, Jason, on this one. If you want a whole case of these, it's one of the ones on the online auction. I might have some fun breaks or something on our Whatnot auction as well, too. But, Jason, do you have this guy? He's awesome. Metallic look. It does look really good in metallic. I would love to see a glow, though. But metallic does look good. The detail on him is really cool. Like, they did a great job with all, like, kind of the scales and everything like that. So, really cool mold. Congratulations, Jason, on this one. You know, mark this one with a little star for you. Thank you, Jason. Appreciate you. Appreciate you donating on the site. Again, this is not Jason's first donation on the site, but first donation tonight. Congrats on that. So this will be coming to you, Jason. Congrats. Eric, your other one I have here, I'll leave it sealed. I'll let you be surprised if it's an extra bonus chase. If you're not on here, Eric, I appreciate you. And you're getting some cool sodas, if nothing else, too, as well. So, wow. We went 2 hours, like just under 2 hours. I appreciate Mason coming on from Gemini Collectibles. Please go over there and give them a good shout out and everything like that. I really would appreciate that if you haven't done that yet. But also, what is going on? What do we need? We need you to do several things. First off, we need you to go bookmark our auction. So if you're just on here for the first time, you've never been on here before, or you haven't been on our Whatnot to bookmark it, go bookmark our upcoming shows. I'll post that here. So bookmark auction on the 29th. I want to be over 200. There's no reason we shouldn't be over 200 bookmarks. We have over 1,000 views usually every video, sometimes 2,000 views every video. Come on, there's how many of you out there that watch our videos? So I'd appreciate you going over and bookmarking that. Number 2, go over there and bid on something on the online auction site. Who knows? You could win it for whatever minimum bid you have. on there. So if you haven't been over to this online auction site to check out everything, we'll do a quick checkout again. But I have it linked all over. I'll post on Instagram. Tonight was the launch of it. So we are just launching it. It will run for a week. We'll be back here on Wednesday. So online auction. That is this page. So if you haven't seen this yet, I'll show it off to you guys. If you haven't seen it for some reason tonight, you're just joining us. This is what this looks like. So online auction site has a lot of great stuff to bid on. I put it pretty fair prices to start too. I try to start it almost like half the value price. Some of the different things. So try to do it so it's pretty fair prices, even if you do the minimum bid and just happen to get it. But right now, I'm not seeing any bids. Are you guys sleeping? Like, there's not a single bid out there. I would get on some of these if I was able to. You know, I can't bid on my own stuff. That wouldn't be right. But if you guys want to bid on anything here, there's like 4 legendaries here. Oh, I see a bid. We got 4 legendaries. We got a bid on the 4 legendaries from Marvel West Coast Avengers. Only $56 right now. That is a steal. Those are about altogether about $100 value. So not bad. We also have a great Coco Loungefly backpack starting at only $40. A beautiful backpack, new with tags. A sealed case. We're talking about just now. Sealed case of a creature. You can get your own sealed case. Guaranteed chase. We also have He-Man, Chase Soda with the bag. Got some gift cards from $7 pop. Think you pay $50, you can get a $7 pop and a Mystery Grail gift card for $50 if no one else bids. We got the Sam and Dean pack. Sam alone is a $70 pop plus, and it's just going to keep climbing because they didn't restock that one. It sold out like crazy. I got a couple more in because I knew to buy them. But I got like 3 damage and they wouldn't replace them. They were like, oh, we can refund you. So this was one of those. Jason donated. He actually won it on one of my streams. He said, I'm going to donate that. And I added the Dean. He also donated as well from one of his mystery boxes. So appreciate that, Jason. We got 2 Beetlejuices, Adam and Barbara here. These are actual Funko Pops. They glow amazing. We have also Baloo and Leonardo. Both Beach Bass exclusives, 1,000 pieces, folks. Pretty much a chase in the world of Thrilljoy themselves. And then 2 also heroes. We got Bebop and Leonardo to add to the bundle. $80 is a steal for those. 18 pack of sodas right now for $75. 18 pack of sodas for only $75 right now. Definitely a great one to bid on. Fluffy. Comedy Hall, $50. And like I said, we got a bid on the April Fools and the NFT redeemable grail. So make sure to have your like buffer bids in there, everyone, too. I think they should have like $5 minimum like bid to bid up and things like that, just so it keeps like decent. I don't want dollar like increments. I think that when you get higher amounts, it's great to have that way. So some really cool stuff. So appreciate that. Site is running to next week. Yes. So you should see, actually, if you see up top, August 27th, 9 p.m. So we'll be live at 8:30 p.m. next week, and 9 p.m. everything will close. I believe it gives you a buffer. So if some reason people are going back and forth on one, it'll give you a few minutes back and forth. So if you bid and someone outbids you, you can get back in and bid. So just let you know. So some pretty cool stuff on there. So a lot of good things, a good way of trying to do this. And like I said, I'm going to ship all this stuff out personally myself. So I'm paying for the shipping. But what you'll do is go back over to this site and make a donation. So you win that, say you win the Ultron Grail, you'll go over here and just like Pedro made a donation, you'll go in here and make the donation for whatever you want it as, and then I'll send it to you and get your address or your drop account for that one, so I can send it over to you. So that's what we're doing for that. Also, we do have a website. I haven't posted everything on there. I'll give you a sneak peek though. You guys want to see a sneak peek? So I've been working on our Shopify site. I wanted to simplify our website and just create it as a Shopify site. So if you haven't been on Shopify before, right now I have only 2 things up. I have a mystery pack and I have a soda 6-pack. So those are buy it now, like just buy them and then check out. So Shopify site is live. So pretty simple. I like it because it is a Shopify site. So makes it really easy for checkout and everything like that through Shopify. So like that one. We went over all the other stuff, I think. But if you guys are ever wondering, like, where do I find all these links? Just go to my bio link, and my Linktree has everything. So if you go to Linktree, as of course, go on our YouTube. You can bookmark our upcoming auctions. You can donate right to the charity page. You can check out the bids on the online auctions, and you can go right to our website. And you can go right to Gemini's website as well and use code Professor to save. So go over there and save some money. Really cool way of doing that. So, what else do we got? Oh, so the auction site I'm using, you mean the one site I'm using for auction? So I made all the graphics on myself, but it's called 32 Auctions. Sully used it for his Nerds Unite last year, and I bid on some stuff and won some stuff. And then I just made a donation to the charity through there. And then he was working out, like sending out everything afterwards, which is really cool. So I said, I want to try that for mine. So I went ahead and put 15 items up there. Some people donated over some. I just wanted to create packages with my own stuff to try this out. And I thought this was a really cool way of doing it. So at the end, whoever wins will make the donation. The site's free to use up to 20 items. So you can only have up to 20 items. After that, there's a pay version of it. Also, you can pay to remove the ads. I did pay to remove the ads because I found them just annoying. So I paid like $40 to remove the ads. But you can pay for other features and stuff like that. You can actually have them pay through here as well, but I thought the donation part was better. If you had a He-Man sofa, yeah, you'd probably need that one. But it is the soda. The soda's cool. I think did you buy the backpack from me? Cross-saved? But you could always then sell the backpack and get the soda. So it's a good way to bid on that and get a good deal on it. What else do we have? We have a lot else, all kinds of other fun stuff just to check out. So I appreciate everyone. The whole schedule coming up. Like if you're wondering what's going on, I posted the whole schedule on Instagram. I'll share this site real quick. So if you're wondering what's all coming up and what's going on, this is where you find it. Like Rally and Raise site's already live now. People are donating, supporting. So if you want to go over there, like I said, make a $25 donation, you get a free t-shirt. $25, you get a free t-shirt, and you're donating $25 for veterans. So that's not through me, that's through Seminole State, through the foundation, through Rally and Raise. So it's not coming out of my pocket, it's coming through the foundation. So they have usually a donation of shirts they get from companies and stuff like that they made a shirt that someone designed this year. And it's really cool, like graphics, kind of like we see up top there for Rally and Raise. Gemini, we did their cool interview. I appreciate them. We also kicked off our online auction, website launch stuff. We already launched some of the stuff on the website. I wanted to give it a try and get it up there. I don't know if anyone tried to buy anything off of there yet, but I'm going to officially like share it out Monday because I might have some other mystery box stuff to launch on there. Live auction preview will be next Wednesday night, and that's when our online auction ends. So I'll preview a bunch of stuff. Also, over this next weekend, we'll have a lot of stuff added so you can start doing pre-bids. People asked about certain things. You'll see stuff for pre-bids, and we'll have other stuff that we're going to launch for buy now. If we have a lot of, like, a cool thing I'm going to do is if you saw, there's a bunch of the Batman, the Gemini Batman. So all the Gemini Batman are out there. What I'm going to do is you can pay $20. You get the Gemini Batman, and you get one of our stickers. And this will be the only way you can get the metallic sticker. Of course, maybe some of those people that have made it great donations will be able to get one as well. So, and then also, have you guys seen who was on the Whatnot the other night? We showed this off. I don't know if I'll be able to get the lights off in here, the live, but let's get some of these out. I haven't even got any of these out yet. These are the glow-in-the-dark ones. I'll probably put these with the glow-in-the-dark exclusive that we got from Gemini, because we've got a whole case of the glow-in-the-dark exclusive from Underdog. When you donate, when you donate on the site, what they'll do is ask you. They'll probably email you what your size is afterward. Like I said, it's not through me, it's through the foundation, but they have confirmed that they're doing shirts for everyone. For some reason, if they should be sending them out, but also I might, if you guys already have an order with me, I might send them in the order or something like that. But look at this, the glow on this. I don't even know if I can get the lights off to show you the glow. It's crazy. Let's see. Got like all the studio lights on. Let's see if I can just move these ones. All right. Studio lights. All right, a little darker. I'm still going to have my other lights on. All right, ready? Let's try this. Look at the glow on that. And that's in the light. That's not even in complete darkness. The glow on that, you can see. It's crazy. Like, I can, like, back here. And it's just, like, yeah. Like, the glow on it's awesome. So, thank you. Thank you, Monster Pete. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, so if you make the donation, and that will go through the 29th. It will actually be after that, too. But by the 29th, if you make your donation on the site, they should be able to, they should send emails out about the size of the, like asking the size of the shirts and stuff like that. I hope to pick up ours locally next week, maybe. But I think they're getting them in for pickup like next week, the local. But they should email people out. They're getting them shipped as well. Anyone that made, like I said, the donation, they should offer that up. Or I'll make sure they get it out to you. Either way, some way about it, we'll make sure, because I want to have the most donations on that site. Right now, we are definitely in the lead, because I think we are the lead. But also in individual donations, that'll be the key. So all of you, if everyone can help donate even like $5, individual donations will add up. And even the first 3 runners up, if we don't get 1,000, we'll guarantee to probably be in the first 3 runners up, which are $500. So, thanks, CrossSaved. I hope to do another video. I got a couple things in today. I hope to do another video, maybe to drop for Saturday. And then, so if your stuff comes out on Friday, I'll do that for Saturday video. How about that? And some good stuff. And then, of course, we have PFO tomorrow night. That'll be on Slapshotpops channel. Hopefully we can talk about some of this stuff too and share it to the other people that aren't on here. But I appreciate it. 100 people watching us on the live here tonight. Hopefully everyone is doing well and having fun. If you're new to here, appreciate the subscribe. If you haven't hit that like button too, I don't know what you're thinking. I see, how many likes do we have? I think we only have like 33 likes, and there's like 100 people watching. Come on, we can do it. We can do it. All right. So what else is going on? Or 100 different people. Oh, a lot of people are watching over on Twitter. I appreciate everyone that's watching over on Twitter as well too. I don't think I'm getting the comments over on the stream as much, or I don't think it has comments, but there are at least 82 people watching on Twitter. So all the 82 people over on Twitter, I hope you can go and check out all the stuff I have posted. I definitely will post. Let's do this real quick. Let's post all the stuff right here on Twitter that I have on here. So let me do that so everyone over on Twitter can see. If you guys are watching for some reason, just hanging out, man, that's awesome. That's pretty cool that many people are over there watching. Haven't tried really as much streaming to there as well as our other platforms, but let's check out how you can support. And let's go ahead. Let's post the whole breakdown of schedules too again. So oops, this one posting weird. I might have to redo these. All right, that's not gonna work. To do it a different way. Always fun when they're like, "Oh, that'll work easy." No, that didn't work as well. But yeah, we got a lot going on. Hopefully, you liked what everything was going on. You have to like the page. What do you mean? Like what page? Like through? No, just no. We're not like they're not doing the like thing this year. Like we did before. They're just doing all the other goodies here. But I'm gonna post also Gemini's info again on here for everyone. So, all right, I'm gonna post this through Twitter again. And if you haven't checked out Seminole States, who we've been supporting, I'm alumni of there. My family have both worked there. And I sit on their foundation board, by the way. So I know where the money goes. I see how the money goes. So I appreciate it. Linda, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you hanging out with us tonight and having a good time. Oh, the Facebook page. Yeah, I think, I don't know how many people are watching on Facebook. I don't think anyone's watching on Facebook. But you know what? I get for like different videos, I'll get actually some streaming money back, all like $2 back a month from Facebook or something weird like that. But I appreciate everyone watching on YouTube and Twitter, or X, I will say, and all that kind of stuff. I appreciate everyone hanging out. We have, like I said, PFO tomorrow night. So I'll be on again with you guys for 2 hours hanging with Vince and John. I'm sure we'll have a lot to talk about. I'm sure we'll talk about some of this stuff again, hopefully. So please, I'll give a shout out to anyone that makes a donation by that time too. Or we'll go check on the bids of all the auction sites and everything as well too. So hopefully we can check out and see what's going on. But I appreciate everyone like hanging out with us and doing all this fun stuff. We got a lot happening coming up. We have so much happening. And if you haven't checked out the online auction, please go do that. If you haven't checked out our Rally and Raise page, please do that. If you haven't bookmarked our Whatnot auction, please do that. How many bookmarks are we at? What's the last time I checked? Let's see. Whatnot, Professor Josh shows. We are at 123 bookmarks. We should be able to be 200 by next Friday, I think, right? 200 bookmarks by next Friday, everyone? I think so. All right. So I'm going to call it a night. It's been a great one hanging with you guys. I appreciate everyone. Eric, reach out to me if you're watching this so I can make sure to send you your sodas as well too. If you buy anything on like upcoming streams or something like that, I might just ship them with it. Jason, congrats on your chase and thank you for your donation. And thank you for everyone hanging out and supporting Gemini as well too. It was good to talk with them and see what they're about, but also learn a little more, about, different people getting into the business and kind of going through it. It's always nice to see new people getting involved in collectibles and in new markets and all those good things. So I appreciate all that kind of work that goes into that. We all know it's a lot of work to run a business, a lot of work to run a YouTube channel and everything else. So I really appreciate it all. But hopefully everyone has a great night. And I'll see you on your next stream tomorrow night, PFO. Slapshotpops channel, and then we'll be back Wednesday night, a week from now, to close out that online auction and see who wins all those goodies, and then be able to make those donations soon after that, because I want them by the 29th in there, so we have everything, so we can win that extra $1,000. Thanks, Gus. Have a great night. Brian, have a great night. Linda, have a great night. Jason, have a great night. Whoever else is still hanging with us on Twitter, X, have a great night. I appreciate everyone. We had a good time, a lot of fun. Hope you learned a little bit, or, you just enjoyed and had a good night. But we'll see you next time, everyone. Bye.